I loved playing high school sports. I loved the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, all the pageantry, and I wanted to keep playing. But I graduated. No colleges called, and neither did the pros. So, to stay close to the game I loved, I decided to become a high school official. You know, a referee. When I played high school sports, I learned the importance of integrity, good sportsmanship, and respect for the rules. Now, as a high school official, I get to help model these same values to others. Maybe the colleges and the pros didn't call, but the kids in Tennessee did. And now, I'm enjoying the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, and all the pageantry of high school sports all over again.
Interested in becoming a licensed high school official? Go to highschoolofficials.com to learn more and begin the application process.
1 in 5 of us is bullied.
1 in 3 of us is overweight or obese.
1 in 5 of us
will experience mental distress
before we even turn 17.
Adults, we need you. You're the #1 influence in my life.
If you're more involved with my health and education,
I'm more likely to make healthier choices, have greater self-esteem,
and do better in school.
Be my action hero.
Learn how you can take action at actionforhealthykids.org.
Pass it on.
This time of upheaval is causing me to look a little deeper inside myself, looking for some goodness. And this is what I've found. I'm more aware of my neighbor's well-being. I'm saying thanks to those who help keep my life as normal as possible. My mail carrier, my grocery cashier, my delivery person. I find myself caring about others instead of just looking out for myself. And oh, my goodness, does it feel good. Goodness is in you.
Pass it on.
From passiton.com.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
And Bonds hits one high, hits it deep, it is out of here! Morant, a jawbreaker!
It's time to get up and get your day started. It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable!
Here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Little February, you never disappoint. It's a short month, the shortest month, but it is jam-packed with sports. It always is. There's always so much going on, so much variety as we get ready for Super Bowl 57 this Sunday. The NBA has gone crazy with this NBA trade deadline, 2 o'clock Central today and last night, overnight, while most of you were sleeping and dreaming. A big blockbuster trade took place. I'm not talking about that trade from a couple days ago with Kyrie Irving. Kevin Durant. Where's he headed? He's headed west, where they all go. Head west, young man, as somebody once said. We will tell you about the details of this overnight blockbuster. Will the Grizzlies pull the trigger on any move? What's going on in the NBA? One of our big topics today is we welcome you into Sports 56 Mornings on this Thursday, February 9th, 2023. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure is where family and fun come together. Yes, their floor model sale continues. Still have time to get on over there, see what they have to offer. Great deals all around. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. First hour of the program also brought to you by the folks at the Big Green Egg. Weather-wise, sky looked weird coming in. I'll be honest with you, while I was driving in, I didn't know if it was going to storm again, but storms are not in the forecast, hopefully out of the area after rain and some thunderstorms yesterday. Right now, it is currently 44 degrees. It will get up to about 56 and no higher. But it looks like a partly cloudy to mostly cloudy, not mostly cloudy, but partly cloudy to partly sunny, whichever way you want to look at it. So you're going to see some of the sun today. And then the weather looks to be pretty good, although on the cooler side over the weekend. Coming up on the program today, of course, everything you need to know about the NBA, the Grizzlies. The Tigers go down to Tampa, take care of business last night, beating South Florida 99-81. We'll go over some of the college results from yesterday, including a dramatic, shocking upset win for Vanderbilt over Tennessee. And then plenty of NFL Super Bowl 57 talk. In fact, we got guests galore. At 7:30, John Eisenberg will join us, the former columnist and author whose latest book, Rocket Man, The Black Quarterbacks Who Revitalized Pro Football. How apropos is that when you have two African-American quarterbacks going at it this Sunday in Kansas City's Patrick Mahomes and Philadelphia's Jalen Hurts. At 8:30, Dave Mason will join us from Bet Online, talk about some of the prop bets and the craziness that will happen on Sunday with the Super Bowl betting. Lorenzo Reyes from USA Today Sports at 9 o'clock, again on the matchup. And then at 9:30, former Houston Oilers linebacker Al Smith will join us. That's the lineup for today. Sports 56 listener lines, call or text 901-360-8255. With today's lineup, probably not a lot of opportunities to call in, but certainly we'll read your texts. You can also hit us up with a message on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or at www.sportsmemphis.com. That's your lineup for today. Boy, oh boy, Eli. You can't sleep anymore.
Yeah, mentioned yesterday that it would be an interesting 30 hours or so, and boy, oh boy, is it ever. We are off to a rip-roaring start for the trade deadline this year, and wondered what the Kevin Durant situation would look like with the reports that he was having the conversations with the Nets. And if you're a new owner, one great way to make a splash and endear yourself to your fans in a hurry is go acquire a superstar. And Matt Ishbia wasting no time there in Phoenix, coming in and acquiring Kevin Durant. And boy, oh boy, this is going to be an interesting day.
Okay, we'll give you the details here in a second. Ishbia. Yes, that's how you make a splash, because he knows he has a team that's capable. He has an aging Chris Paul. You're at the end of Chris Paul's rope. So what do you do to add to hopefully a healthy Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, other pieces that they have? You're not afraid to throw out some of these auxiliary pieces, good, solid role players, and a bunch of these draft picks to get one of the greatest players to ever play in the game, because you want to win now. You want to win now. Dallas and Mark Cuban, they want another NBA championship. Cuban wants another ring. They want to win now. That's what these teams are doing around the Western Conference. Some in the East, but mostly in the West. That's what I've been saying for months now with the Grizzlies. Win now. Why wait? Oh, the future looks great. That's fine. Who cares about all these number one picks you have? What are you going to, 4 more Jake LaRavias? Come on. Make a move, but only if you think that your team, behind closed doors, amongst yourself, you guys say, we're really good, we have a chance, but if we get this piece, it takes us over the top. Or we feel we're really, really close, but in the end, we're being honest with ourselves. Denver's a little better. A healthy Golden State, whatever you want to say. If you can go into those meetings that you have in the front office and say, we're the best, then don't make a move. And don't make a move if you're going to get fleeced. I say that every single day. But right now is the time to strike, because you have a team that can win an NBA title. And you can't let all these teams move ahead of you. Now, we don't know if Irving and Doncic together will work. Kyrie made his debut last night with Dallas. He looked good, but again, Doncic did not play in that game. We don't know how quickly it'll come in Phoenix, with Kevin Durant joining, a Chris Paul and a Devin Booker who's been hurt. But if you look at these teams and you go, let's just assume, it's a big assumption, that they're all healthy in the postseason, where do the Grizzlies stack up now? And that's what you have to ask yourself if you're the front office.
Yeah, certainly on paper, that Phoenix Suns team, if healthy, which is a massive question. I mean, Kevin Durant is injured, and Kevin Durant has been injured over the past few years. That's why in the offseason I said I wouldn't be giving up a whole bunch for Kevin Durant because I'm afraid that he's probably not going to be able to stay healthy.
Devin Booker's been hurt.
But if they do have a nucleus of Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and DeAndre Ayton all healthy, it's pretty good little group right there. Certainly, no doubt about that. Dallas, as I've said, I was thinking about it. Kyrie Irving has now, in his career, played with LeBron James, Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Luka Doncic. He hasn't been happy with any of the first four. So I don't know why we think he's going to be happy here and it's going to work out. I'm not ever going to trust Kyrie Irving in any situation. So I don't believe in Dallas being that much better with Kyrie Irving there. So that one I don't really worry about them. Honestly.
I'm with you, but you never know when it'll click. And on paper, having Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic is pretty good. Let me give you the details for the
on paper, having James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving is pretty good.
Exactly.
And what did that get Brooklyn?
No, I'm with you 100%. So here are the details from the overnight trade. Kevin Durant and TJ Warren go from Brooklyn to Phoenix just in time for the Super Bowl. And what do the Nets get in return? Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, the former Grizzly Jay Crowder, who's been out the entire year, hasn't played 1 second. And they pick up first-round picks in 23, 25, 27, and 29, and a 2028 pick swap. Again, that's a lot. That's a big load right there with all those first-round picks. But Kevin Durant, if he could stay on the court, it could be the difference in winning an NBA title or not. And again, with those draft picks, it's nice to have those assets. But I look at the Grizzlies and they go, they're already young. Do you need all those picks? You don't need all those picks. So again, today, we'll see if anything happens, especially with OG Anunoby. Teams will be after him. Toronto is going to be the focal point because all we've heard was Fred VanVleet is expendable. Gary Trent Jr. is expendable. More than likely, Pascal Siakam is not, but who knows? OG Anunoby is. So we'll see what happens as far as that's concerned. It's interesting. I tweeted out this morning, just kind of kidding around. I wonder if Ja Morant thinks any differently about the West. Is it still no problem? And then I see that CJ McCollum 5 hours ago, so he was up at like 2 in the morning, tweeted out basically the same thing. But he said, this is all this stuff that's happening here in the Western Conference. He said, this is all because Ja Morant said he was good in the West. 3 laughing emojis. Everybody now doing something to better their chances to win. Again, I've never understood, and I'm not saying the Grizzlies are in this boat, but I've never understood, wait until tomorrow. We'll do it next year. A couple of years from now, we'll be fantastic. You never know. That's my philosophy in life. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So if you could do it today, do it today. When you have a team that can win it all, if you can improve your team, do it. Do it. Now, again, if you think you're the best, then don't do it. So we'll see. Again, but you have to make a trade that makes sense for you. You're not going to just go ahead and get, as I use this term, fleeced all the time. If you don't think that deal is at least even or better, you don't make that trade. But all the teams seem to be making trades out in the West. The Lakers made a trade yesterday. They get D'Angelo Russell from Minnesota. They pick up Malik Beasley and Jarrett Vanderbilt from Utah in a 3-team trade where the Jazz get Russell Westbrook and Juan Toscano Anderson and Damian Jones and a first-round pick. There's a bunch of picks involved in this as well. Minnesota gets the conductor, the former Grizzly Mike Conley, Nickeil Anderson-Walker, and picks as well. So there's a big trade. Is it enough for the Lakers? I don't know. Anthony Davis can't stay on the damn court. But if they can make a run in the postseason, if they can get there and be in the playoffs, right now they're on the outside looking in. LeBron, Anthony Davis, now you have D'Angelo Russell and some of these other pieces. Maybe the Lakers become a player. Will the Clippers do something today as now we start to see Paul George and Kawhi Leonard actually play games together? There's so many question marks now in the West.
Yeah, I mean, the idea that you get two all-star starters from the East traded into the West, it's certainly not ideal. Raider Corey texted in, said, Ja may not be concerned with teams in the West, but I sure the hell am. What is it about the West? Bad enough I have to deal with the AFC West of the NFL. What are the odds of both Eastern Conference stars and future Hall of Famers get traded to Western Conference teams? Jeez. Yeah, again, like that's tough. But again, and I will, if the Grizzlies find a trade that works out, great. I'm not going crazy and panicking because, oh my God, the Phoenix Suns did this. We have to do something, because your whole go for it now, you could end up like the Minnesota Timberwolves, who went for it now, and it's going to be a disaster for them. The Brooklyn Nets went for it then. It turned into a disaster for them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just going for it now means it's going to be all roses. No, it can blow up in your face.
Yeah, but never up, never in, man. If you don't try.
But if you're in a great situation for the future, you don't need to mortgage that for the now and have it blow up in your face.
Again, we see life differently. I look at it and go, you know what? To be the 4th, 5th, 6th best team in the NBA, I don't care. I don't care if they're second best in the West. I don't care. All I care about is, can you win an NBA title? Win an NBA title. Brink, could you imagine the Grizzlies being an NBA championship team in a parade in Memphis? I'm not into this runner-up crap. I'm not into this bridesmaid stuff.
But the bottom line is you're putting yourself in a position to win that title at some point. It may not be this year that is your year to win the title. And if you do like Minnesota and go crazy, then you're going to never win the title.
Well, Minnesota made a bad trade. I mean, that's the whole thing.
But that was the go for, this is it. There's our piece. This is our one piece. We need one piece to make it better.
Right.
And it's going to blow up.
Yeah. So that's bad moves by the front office. I think we have more faith in Kleiman to make the right move. But yes, I'm all for going for it, but not making the wrong move to go for it. It's got to be a good move. And again, to me, right now we're looking at, let's be honest here. Malik Beasley was in the rumor mill and all that. Now he's off the board. The trade we're talking about is the possibility of getting OG Anunoby. All right, let's be honest here. OG Anunoby, is he an upgrade from Dillon Brooks? He is absolutely an upgrade from Dillon Brooks. Do you worry about giving away 3 first-round picks? I don't. What are you going to do? Again, stack up more Jake LaRavias and Zaire Williams? Right now, they have a young team. They have a really good young team. So if you got to dump, which you probably will, Danny Green and maybe Zaire, I don't know why you wouldn't trade Brooks, because you'd have 2 guys at that same position. But either way, if I can get Anunoby, to me, that is not taking the risk of going out and getting Rudy Gobert. It's a piece that elevates the piece you have right now. And you're not mortgaging the future because, again, these picks, what are you going to do? Have a team of 15 young first-year and second-year guys? So I would say you go for it. But, again, what is everybody else going to offer Anunoby? Is Toronto just playing with their minds and they end up not doing anything? I look around and I go, again, on paper, if everybody's healthy, which is a big if, Denver, they're the best team in the West. In my opinion, the best team in the West. Where is Phoenix now with Durant? Again, on paper, I would say better than the Grizzlies. Dallas, I'm not so sure. I'm with you, but it could work out. Lakers, I still think are behind. I still think Golden State would be a great series with the Grizzlies. They've already proven that, but a healthy Golden State, and right now Steph's on the shelf, that they would be slightly better than the Grizzlies. Where do the Clippers, when they're clicking with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, where do they fall in? I'd still probably go Grizzlies, but they may make a trade here as well. So all of a sudden now you have a bunch of, and again, the Lakers I don't think have enough, but if they're healthy and Davis is playing, he's pretty damn good. So there's so many question marks right now in the West where I can see 3, 4, 5 teams being now better than the Grizzlies. But then again, I can also see them not being better. It all depends on the injuries and the chemistry. The Grizzlies have the chemistry. But can they upgrade from where there's weaknesses? And there are some weaknesses. We know they don't have the three-point shooting to be able to get into a shootout with any team out there. And while they're a really good defensive team, we have seen lapses, especially in the last 2-3 weeks, on the defensive side of things. So again, this is a move that you make if you feel that right now you're really good, but you could be better. Or if you feel you are the best team out there, bar none, then you don't make a move. It's as simple as that.
Sean texts in and says, what's going on with the Grizzlies recalling all the rookies and two-way players from the hustle last night? Does this indicate a trade is imminent today? Well, it doesn't necessarily mean a trade is imminent, but the hustle play at 10:30 this morning. So my assumption is you're not going to have those guys down there. Now, the two-way guys, it doesn't really matter, but Laravia, Zaire, Kennedy, Chandler. I mean, if you do make a trade, there's a good chance those guys could be involved. You wouldn't want one of them blowing out a knee at 10:30 this morning playing for the hustle. That would be so with the hustle playing at 10:30 in the morning, before the trade deadline. If they played the 7 o'clock game at night, it'd be a little different. But with the 10:30 in the morning game, I'm assuming they're not going to take any chances with any of these guys right now. They're just going to you wait and see what happens because they don't know what might happen in the afternoon. Brad texts in. He says, what happens with the All-Star game with Durant and Irving? They can't be West starters. Can they even play? Well,
there's no West to East anymore.
Yeah, I mean, the guys are voted in East and West, but the game is a draft. Durant probably isn't even going to play in the game. He is one of the captains. How they'll handle replacements, I would assume the replacements are still going to come from where they were voted in originally, but I'm not sure exactly how they will handle that.
Well, you have the situation now. Jaylen Brown got hurt yesterday for Boston, and they say the indications are he'll be out through the All-Star break. So that would be another Eastern, again, it's not East versus West, but they were picked from the East, that Jaylen Brown will be replaced, I would think, by somebody in the East. If Durant doesn't play, there's a replacement there. And then, obviously, in the West, with the starting guard, you got the possibility of Ja moving into that starting lineup, but that has to be replaced too. Who am I missing here?
Steph Curry.
So right off the bat, I would think that's 3 replacements for the All-Star game.
Yeah, and again, I would assume that if Durant doesn't play, the replacement comes from the East in his spot rather than coming from the West. He is, I would assume, still considered an Eastern Conference All-Star. Even though he's in the West, Kyrie is still an Eastern Conference All-Star, although he's in the West. And again, because it doesn't matter in the end. If they still played the East versus the West, well, then you'd have some things you'd have to switch around and all that stuff. But the fact that it isn't East versus West, they're just voted in based on conference. I don't think it. I think they'll just play it or do the replacements as if it's from where they originally were.
Kip on YouTube said, "Are we still good in the West?" ? Grizz front office is now on the clock. Yes, that will be a recurring theme, a sentiment of a lot of people. I've already thrown that joke out there. A lot of people will throw that joke out there. I don't know if Ja will be laughing about it, but certainly there's going to be interest, not only with what the Grizzlies are doing, but with any other moves that could happen in the Western Conference. And with the trade that was made with the Nets, they could trade Bridges. More than likely, Crowder will be expendable for a team. That's maybe something that's very minor, but the Grizzlies could do something there. Or they could just stand pat. And the way I've been thinking the last 48 hours is that they're going to end up not doing anything. But with that blockbuster trade overnight, I think maybe they need to make a move. Because I was saying I thought they needed to shake it up anyway. But again, don't shake it up just to shake it up. Do you think Dillon Brooks, which goes back to what you've been saying for days, weeks, recurring theme, is Dillon Brooks going to be a part of your long-term future? If he's not, then you look to make a move.
Do you believe Dillon Brooks is going to be on your team next year? If not, trade him now. The one thing, the Kevin Durant trade, once again, illustrates how bad of a move the Timberwolves made. The Jazz, you could make the argument, got more for Rudy Gobert than the Nets got for Kevin Durant.
Yep.
I mean, it's crazy. Rudy Gobert was worth more. That's how bad the Timberwolves screwed up.
They swung and missed.
But they told us in the offseason that they're going to be one of the best teams.
And how about the Jazz, by the way? I'll give the Jazz credit. If you're going to blow it up, do not leave anything. My goodness gracious. That is you talk about blowing a team up. Do they have 400 draft picks coming in the next, 6 years. I don't even know how many it is. It's going to be the Utah Jazz and Oklahoma City basically drafting every draft pick. It is crazy. But that's what you got. If you're going to blow it up, don't go halfway in doing it. You get rid of everybody.
That's the Danny Ainge special.
It is.
It is the Danny Ainge special. And when they made the trade with Minnesota, thought they would fall right on their faces to start the season, but they were very competitive for the most part because they had scorers. Now they've traded a few of those away. They still have some other scorers, but they have all these assets for the future. And Oklahoma City, you talk about a young team, but a young competitive team, they have become really fun to watch. Remember, they haven't had 1 second of Chet Holmgren on the court. But you have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's a star, and others surrounding him, including Josh Giddey. That is a good young team. Oh, they also happen to be in the West.
Another texter says, calm down, Greg. Eli is right. You don't make a move just to make a move. That's making an emotional reaction.
What did I just
some
say?
are doing.
What did I just say? You don't make a move to make a move. I said that. You don't make a move to make a move. But I'm saying if you feel you're not in position to win an NBA title and you can get there with a move, you do it because you strike now while the iron's hot. You don't wait till 3 years from now. That is our mantra in Memphis. Wait till next year. Oh, look at the class Penny's got coming in. Wait till next year.
You act like this front office is going to be presented with a move that they think makes them better, and they're going to go, no, we're worried about 3 years from now. If they find a move that makes them better, they're going to make the move.
I hope so.
Well, yes, they will. If they think it makes them better, they're going to make the move.
You don't know that for sure. You don't know that for sure.
Well, every front office in the world, if they think it makes the team better, they're going to make the move.
You would think. All I've heard was money is no object. With Robert Parra, money is no object. So right now, again, if you can throw 3 first-round picks and a couple of players at Toronto and get OG Anunoby, I mean, that's a no-brainer. I don't know. I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. All we hear is the rumors that are out there. I mean, I think there's a chance that they're going to be able to land him. But there's also a chance that they sit there and go, you know what, we're fine. Our future's fine. We're winning games. We're one of the best teams in the Western Conference. Let's not mess up the chemistry.
If I'm the Grizzlies, I'm looking at the Brooklyn Nets because you got Jay Crowder, Dorian Finney-Smith, Royce O'Neal, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges. That's 5.
Well, I just said it
wouldn't
surprise me if they picked up Jay Crowder.
I don't know what the Nets will do.
Well, the thing is even if you don't make a big move, you can make some moves around the margins. It doesn't have to be, you got to go all in and just spend all your assets just to spend them.
The other thing we're not even talking about is that the Grizzlies have been really bad over the last. It's not like the Grizzlies are the well-oiled machine we had early in the season, and then we're thinking about maybe they tweak here, tweak there. They've been playing bad basketball. There's problems. They got to figure out this whole Dylan Brooks thing. They're not hitting 3-point shots the way they need to be competitive with teams that can knock you out with 3-point shooting. I mean, it's not that this was an absolute 100% well-oiled machine. They've been leaking oil for the last month.
The couple of other deals that were made last night, Trailblazers sending Josh Hart to the Knicks for Cam Reddish, Ryan Arcidiacono, and there was a third player. By Mikulik or whatever, yeah. There's also a protected first-round pick in that one. The Spurs send Jakob Poeltl to Toronto for Khem Birch, and I believe there's a protected first-round pick and a second-round pick involved in that one as well. So things are rolling. And 2 o'clock this afternoon is the deadline. We'll see how much more activity. But, yeah, the Nets are going to be an interesting team to watch now that they've got all of these players and what route they want to go. Who the hell knows?
We got a lot more to talk about as far as the NBA is concerned. Later on in the show, the Tigers with a win last night in Tampa against South Florida. Big money for one Mike Norvell, and we'll give you an update on Jerry Lawler's condition down in Florida. But when we return, John Eisenberg, whose latest entry, he's a great author. He's written a book about the African-American quarterback, and it's called Rocket Men, the black quarterbacks who revitalized pro football. Again, apropos for this year's Super Bowl 57. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Save on the furniture and mattresses you want during the President's Day sale at the Great American Home Store. Everything's on sale, from bedroom to dining room, recliners, sectional sofas, and those comfy sleep sets. Top American-made brands including Southern Motion, Corinthian, England, Sealy, Tempur-Pedic, Restonic, and more. American-made sofas as low as $6.99. Kick back and relax in a new recliner, rocker recliners, gliders, and lift chairs. Shop our huge selection of casual to formal dining sets. And nobody offers a better selection of sofas, sectionals, reclining sofas. Saving store-wide off our already low prices. If you choose to pay cash, the more you buy, the more you save. Or take advantage of special financing up to 5 years with no minimum purchase and no money down. Come in today to one of Great American's huge showrooms in Memphis and South Haven. Or shop and buy online at gogahs.com. The President's Day sale now at the Great American Home Store.
Let's say you need a new car, so you go to a dealer, right? Wrong. You need to go to Mount Moriah Auto Sales. Why? Because why limit yourself to just one kind of car when you can choose from all kinds of cars, SUVs, and trucks? All different years, all different makes, all different models. Really good prices, too. Now, everyone says that about the money, but Mount Moriah Auto Sales proves it. They work hard to get you the deal you want, even financing. Plus, they have a huge full-service department to help you take care of your car. So many choices at Mount Moriah Auto Sales. They're almost unlimited, with new vehicles coming in every day. Now, these are really good cars and trucks and SUVs that you'll want to drive. And yes, low miles too. It's so easy. Just go to Mount Moriah Auto Sales, tell them what you want, but keep your eyes open, because you might just find the car of your dreams. Mount Moriah Auto Sales makes it all possible. Go to MountMoriahAutoSales.com. Mount Moriah Auto Sales, right on the corner, right on the price, right on Mount Moriah.
All day I pay for you 'cause you're my favorite tree. You're my everyday Valentine.
Hey Memphis, this is Johnny B at the Memphis Music Room. Join us on Saturday, February 11th for Terrence Love, Lessons on Love, with special guests, Lena J.
Because of you, I never lose sight of what is real.
Ariel Rain. And Tim Walker with Can't Keep Chasing.
I'd rather have you than gravity, 'cause you keep me lifted. And that makes a difference. That makes a difference.
If you're looking for something special to do on Valentine's Day with that one that you love, then you've got to be at Lessons on Love with Parents Love. February 11th, Saturday night. Get your tickets at MemphisMusicRoom.com.
Hiring is hard. Luckily, there's Indeed. The hiring platform makes it easy to attract, screen, and interview candidates from the same place. Just sponsor a job, and you'll immediately get a short list of quality candidates on Indeed. Visit Indeed.com/credit to get started.
When the weather gets better, I found a new place to really soak it in. It's the patio at the Commissary in Collierville. We all love the delicious Memphis-style barbecues. You can begin your barbecue fest with some great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales or the barbecue nachos. Oh, those smoked chicken wings, they're terrific too. Then dig into the ribs or the barbecue shoulder. Get it chopped or pulled on a sandwich. A big sandwich, or you can get it on a plate. You've got choice, and you've got choice in places. Don't forget the Germantown Commissary as well. Comes with beans and slaw, deviled eggs they're famous for. And Brad, you can even order by the pound, a 6-pack or an 8-pack or even a 12-pack. The Boss Man salad, the chicken plate, the barbecue shrimp. There's something for everybody, and those great desserts. The best icebox lemon pie anywhere. Or my favorite, the banana pudding. Check out the patio, TVs for sports, and music on the weekends. You love the Commissary.
Sports 56 traffic.
Right now, working an accident on I-240 East at Walnut Grove. The left shoulder is blocked. That's 240 East at Walnut Grove. The left shoulder is blocked. Then an accident on I-40 West at I-240. Sam Cooper exits. Just keep that in mind. Going to expect delays there as well. Keep it right here. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Memphis Music Room. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So much going on, especially here in the area as we await the trade deadline. Will the Grizzlies make a move or not? But as you know, it's also Super Bowl week, Super Bowl 57 coming up on Sunday. We've had a number of terrific guests, and that will continue today and tomorrow. And here's a gentleman who I read an awful lot when I was in television on the Eastern Shore of Maryland, and, of course, being a University of Maryland product myself, being able to read John when he was the columnist, sports columnist at the Baltimore Sun. But he is also a terrific author, and he has written a number of great books, including his latest entry, Rocket Men, the black quarterbacks who revolutionized pro football, which, again, is so apropos for Super Bowl 57. And John joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. You can follow him on Twitter at @BMooreEisenberg. Hey, John, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for that nice intro. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. I was in television for 10 years over in Salisbury and read you all the time. So I loved what you did. I'm a big fan of yours, and I'm looking forward to reading this book. And we'll get to that in just a second. I do want to ask you this. Yesterday was the, I guess, state of the NFL presser with Commissioner Roger Goodell, and he said officiating has never been better. You've been around the game a long time. Would you agree or disagree with Roger Goodell about NFL officiating?
Oh boy. Well, I don't necessarily agree with the fact that it's never been better.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's much. I do think I sort of fall into the category of, yes, they make mistakes. I have a little bit of sympathy for these officials in the NFL. If you've ever seen the rule book, if you've seen the NFL rule book, I mean, it is like an encyclopedia, and they add to it every year. Just like the holding penalties alone, there's like 27 clauses. These refs have a tough job.
They do.
Just because there's so much to do. And so, yeah, they get some stuff wrong. I mean, I could see them just sitting there thinking, wait, was that clause number 22 or 27? And so, it can drive you nuts, I think. So it needs, I mean, to me, yeah, they're not perfect. They do make some mistakes. I wish the rule book was a little slimmer, to be honest with you.
With this book you've written here, certainly, again, sometimes timing is everything. Works out very well for you here. But what made you kind of want to do this book?
Well, this is my 11th book, and I had written quite a bit of pro football history, and the subject of race just kept coming up in these books I written. I wrote a book called The League that came out in 2018 about the early history of the NFL. And I'm a native of Dallas. I wrote a couple of books about the early days of the Cowboys, and certainly there was a lot going on there with the black players there. And I just felt like, and then my most recent job, I was working for the Ravens. Baltimore Ravens, and Lamar Jackson showed up, and I thought this is really fascinating to go back in history and see just what happened, because Lamar. He had people in 2018 going into the combine saying, are you going to run the 40 because we think you'll be a good wide receiver?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, this is still going on. So, I just said, well, I'm going to throw my chops at this story and go back to the very beginning and see how the quarterback position became all white, to be very honest with you, and then talk to these guys that sort of burst at the ceiling and tried to do it, James Harris, Warren Moon, Doug Williams, and just tell the story of how slowly but surely this position changed over time. And it's a 3-year project for me. And the book actually is not out yet, Rocket Men. It will be out in September, but it can be pre-ordered on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com. But I am finished with it. And, it's just an amazing, sort of heartbreaking story at many times, but I'm glad I did it.
Sports, sometimes, football in particular, can be a microcosm of life. And I hope we get to that point where we're not talking about the skin color of the quarterback. We're just saying the quarterback, whether he's good or bad. But I think you certainly have to bring it up this year because history is being made with Mahomes and Hurts. Again, after this Super Bowl, and hopefully we have a great one down the road, hopefully we get to that point, John, where we're not always bringing up the color of the skin of the quarterback.
Oh, that is totally true. And you can go back to the very beginning, like when Doug Williams became the first black quarterback to win the Super Bowl. His comments the whole 2 weeks were, "I'm the quarterback of the Redskins. I am not the black quarterback of the Redskins."
Yeah, didn't somebody ask him, or is this myth? Didn't somebody say in the Super Bowl, like somebody asked him, "How long have you been a black quarterback?" Or something like?
It didn't. Yes, it didn't quite come out like that. I actually addressed this in the book. It's kind of funny. But, yes, it basically, Doug didn't hear the question correctly, and he said, "What? How long have I been a black quarterback?" The reporter was trying to ask him, it was this sort of an ad nauseum subject, and he was trying a different approach.
Okay.
It didn't work. It didn't work. Let's put it that way. So, that's been the approach from all these guys. I mean, they're athletes. They want to win the Super Bowl, and that comes second. And you do hope that you get to that point. But, with these two guys in this week, they're both addressing it. Mahomes, he's a student of history. He understands, this is a big deal. There's only been 3 black quarterbacks that have won the Super Bowl. This is the 57th Super Bowl. So there've only been 3, and there'll be a 4th on Sunday, and it's just good to see.
You mentioned kind of the quarterback being positioned, being all white, and now it is changing, and obviously we see that in this game. Where was that? Where did we kind of see the change really start happening, and why has it happened, and why have we gotten at least to this point?
Well, it happened over time. It's not like the Jackie Robinson story in baseball, where there was one moment and there's one Jackie Robinson. There were many Jackie Robinsons in the quarterback story. And just slowly, but Doug Williams won the Super Bowl. Steve McNair went to the Super Bowl, gave a great performance in a losing effort. There were 3 black quarterbacks drafted in the first round in 1999. That was a moment. Michael Vick going first overall. That was a moment. And so slowly but surely, these guys came into the league, and they didn't all do well. They didn't all flourish, but, some did. And you could just see that it was very slow to come, sort of the groupthink in the NFL. Can we survive or thrive with a black quarterback? The answer was yes, but it took a while. But for real change, the true change that we have seen, I think it's the past decade. And I think it starts with NFL football itself changed. When Cam Newton came into the league and RG3 and early Kaepernick, who was incredible, and suddenly the NFL for years had just wanted drop back quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. And that 45 out of 46 Super Bowls were won by white, largely drop back quarterbacks. And then it began to change with those guys. And you could have mobile quarterbacks and the sport itself changed. And it came up from the college ranks, and there were just so many good black quarterbacks coming into the pros. You couldn't deny them. So they began running these run-pass options, and the different, a running quarterback was all right. And so now in the past decade, you've seen guys like that and like Lamar, and then incredible passers like Mahomes and dual-threat guys. So really the past decade is when the minds have been opened and the floodgates have opened.
And the minds opened up also in the college ranks, giving these players more opportunities to play that position, thusly being available, if they are good enough, to make an NFL roster. So you have now a lot of schools around the country that, for whatever the reason is, they're using a multi-dimensional type style offense where there's RPO and they want to use the legs. And then, of course, There are African-American quarterbacks that are just pocket passers that don't run. It's not like everyone can run. So certainly you have that option as well. But I think there's more opportunities because now colleges have become over, I guess, the last 3-4 decades, open-minded to who runs the show.
That is totally true. The colleges changed first. The colleges basically, in the long run, forced the NFL's hand. I have people telling me that. I interviewed Ozzie Newsome, as the general manager of the Ravens and a Hall of Fame player and just a real deep thinker of football. And he said this came from college. He said, I never thought I would see the day when college football impacted the NFL. It was always the reverse. The pros were more popular, bigger, and they would impact what happened in college ball. But the opposite happened at the quarterback position and sort of the understanding of what they could do. Alabama had a black quarterback in the early 1980s. That's long before it was starting to happen in the NFL. And so you just saw a real change there. There's been a much more opening of opportunity there. The problem was there's generations of guys who might have been really good pro quarterbacks, but they didn't, Tennessee, Condridge Holloway, for crying out loud, in the 70s. Ozzie told me, he said, that's a guy, give me a break with him. If he were playing in today's football he's like Kyler Murray. So he could have been really good, but he didn't get a chance, so he went to Canada. So, there's generations of guys with stories like that.
So we've had this historic matchup in the Super Bowl between these two quarterbacks. Who do you like in the Super Bowl?
I like the Eagles in this game. Not by a lot. I think it's going to be a good game, a close game. Mahomes he's on the cover of this book that I've written, and along with Warren Moon, and he's a great quarterback and certainly the best passer I've seen in a long time. I just think the Eagles are really good. They have a great defense. Golly, they sacked. Is it the third most sacks in history in a season? Their defense. So they're just really a well-rounded team, and they didn't have the toughest road in the playoffs. So I think that the 49ers didn't have a quarterback, and in the championship game, and the Giants were not very tough in the second round. So the Chiefs will be much tougher, but I just think the Eagles are a really, really strong team. Jalen Hurts does a great job. They have so many weapons. It's unbelievable offensive line. One of the best. Just so good. So I see all that, and I think, wow, this is a good team. I think they're going to win.
John, real quick, does Baltimore get a deal done with Lamar Jackson?
I'm not sure. It's up to Lamar. Lamar, the Ravens have offered him a pretty sizable deal. However, Lamar, after he wants a fully guaranteed contract. That is something that he wants after what the Browns did with Deshaun Watson, and the Ravens are not going to give him that. I can just say that I know that will not happen. That was not a popular thing what the Browns did in the league, and the Ravens will not go down that road. So if he's willing to negotiate a little bit on the level of the guaranteed money, I think they have a chance to sign him. If he doesn't come off that, I think they'll just trade him. They can get a lot for him, and let that guarantee issue become someone else's problem.
Yeah, look weird with Lamar Jackson in any other uniform other than the Ravens uniform. He's John Eisenberg. His latest entry is Rocket Men, the black quarterbacks who revolutionized pro football. It will be out in September. But again, John, you can order right now, pre-order, correct?
That is correct, yes. It is up and running on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com.
John, an absolute pleasure. Enjoy the game on Sunday.
All right, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you. John Eisenberg, former Baltimore Sun sports columnist, and as you mentioned, 11 books he's written?
Yep. Yeah, wow. He's done a lot of them.
We all have our systems when we bet, from picking the perfect upset to combing through injury reports the night before the game to get more intel. But there's one thing every bettor should include in their system: the responsible gaming tools available on FanDuel Sportsbook. These tools help keep your play in check and under control. Tools like time limits, so you don't unknowingly spend more time on the app than you intend to do. Wager limits to help prevent you from betting more than you should. And you can even take a timeout, which pauses your account for as long as you may need. FanDuel wants every bettor's experience to be about fun and entertainment. So visit FanDuel.com/playwell and make responsible gaming tools a part of your system. Coming back with our final segment here in hour number 1. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You don't think about a lawyer until something goes wrong. When that happens, let attorney Stephen Leffler fight for you and your family. You don't leave the house in the morning expecting an accident, but it happens every day. A car wreck, you slip and fall, or you get accused of a crime and find yourself fighting for your reputation. Stephen Leffler has been fighting for you for over 35 years. Don't do it alone. Let Stephen Leffler fight your battles for you. Call Stephen Leffler, 901-527-8830, or go to LefflerLaw.com. Here to fight for you and your loved ones.
Looking for a high-efficiency planting solution? The Case IH 2150 Early Riser Planter combines the industry's most accurate planter technologies with a rugged row unit for fast and uniform emergence. The Case IH 2150 Early Riser operates at your speed and adapts to unique field conditions so that you can maximize your yield potential. Stop in or call Mid-South Ag Equipment at 662-890-3141 to learn more. That's Mid-South Ag, your Case IH Equipment headquarters.
Is your check engine light on? Let our professional parts people scan and diagnose the problem for free. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia to Central Park in New York, but many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 a person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You could just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel, évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Golfers, tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops and go farther and faster with the new G430 woods and irons from Ping. The Ping G430 woods introduce the next generation of speed with new face technology for longer and more accurate shots. The new Ping G430 irons are designed with pure flex technology for faster ball speed and more distance. Swing into Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit on the new Ping G430 woods and irons today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Memphis Music Room. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
This time our program is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Can't beat it when you're grilling, smoking, whatever it is you're wanting to cook up. Oh, man, the Big Green Egg, it's just way, way different than anything else that you could possibly cook on. And it comes with a lifetime guarantee as well. That's a great thing. But, man, from smoking ribs to maybe shoulder, whatever, the way it can hold temperature for long periods of time, plus as hot as you can get it when you want to sear those steaks and cook those. It's just absolutely fantastic. It's changed my life. Plus, they got all the accessories. They also have their own seasonings. They got their own sauces that they do. And the seasonings are absolutely fantastic. Absolutely love them. They've got a couple that I use all of the time, including the sweet and smoky that I use on my ribs. They've got a pecan one that I like to use on ribs. They've got all kinds of different spices. You can find all this stuff at the Ace Hardware's here in town. You can go to biggreenegg.com. You can find locations. You can find places that sell the Big Green Egg and the accessories. 7 different sizes of Big Green Eggs out there as well. Can you maybe think, can it really be worth it? I could speak from experience. It is worth it. I guarantee you it is worth it to get you a Big Green Egg.
An update on Jerry Lawler yesterday afternoon. Really, really, really positive news. According to everything I read from what the doctors have indicated to Jerry and his family, that he will make a full recovery. And right now, certainly, it's going to take a lot of rehabilitation. He's not speaking properly. Obviously, after having a stroke, that happens. But that's the great news, that he will regain use of everything fully, have the full recovery. He's recovering right now in Fort Myers, Florida. That certainly scared a lot of people, and he's been through it before. That's his second stroke. He's had a heart attack. He had issues with COVID. But he is he's an ambassador to this city, and it's going to take more than a stroke to take out Jerry Lawler. So certainly great news to hear about him. All right, Dwayne is dialed in on the Sports 56 listener lines at 901-360-8255, talking Grizzlies. Dwayne, how are you?
Hey, what's up? What's going on, Greg?
How are you?
What's up, Dwayne?
Hey, Greg, let me ask you a question. Did I hear you on the radio station on a different show yesterday saying University of Memphis shouldn't be expected to go to the tournament every year?
Not. Yeah, what I said was fans, because they have actually called us or texted into our show when we brought that topic up, who have said that they believe the Tigers should be in the postseason every year. Not my opinion. My opinion was every other year they should be in the NCAA tournament.
Well, no, Greg, no. I'm sorry. I disagree.
I thought you wanted to talk Grizzlies, Dwayne, but anyway.
The reason I disagree is because if you're bringing in top 5 recruiting class, top 10 recruiting class every single year, you are expected to go every year. There's no doubt about that. If Penny Hardaway does his job as a head coach and bringing in the talent and coaching the talent, I'm not talking about moving it to the NBA. We're going to be expected to go to the tournament every single year.
That's what I had said. I said people expect to go every single year.
Okay.
But it wasn't. You didn't bring in top.
But you said every other year.
That's my opinion. I'm saying the opinion of everybody else is every year. The thing is, he didn't bring in top 10 talent this year. He brought in fifth-year guys who played at Georgia Southern and UTEP that weren't highly.
Other schools did that too. Other schools are going to be in the tournament who did the same thing Memphis did. They're going to be in the tournament.
Right.
So if Holloway does his job in this conference, this conference, it should be every single year.
Yeah, the going forward conference, yes, they should win it's like the Conference USA days. Like they should win the conference every single year going forward.
No, yeah, moving forward into that new
conference.
Yeah, but really, isn't that a little delusional to think that all these years that Memphis should be in the tournament every single year?
No. Is it delusional to think that Duke should be there every year?
You're comparing Memphis to Duke.
Memphis has been on this scene for 40 years.
How many national championships?
We don't play for 2. Okay, we don't play for 2. But we don't get the respect that Duke get, I guarantee you.
Dwayne, you're comparing Memphis to Duke. You're delusional.
I'm comparing Memphis to Duke because, hey, this team has had great teams in Memphis.
Sure.
They went far in the tournament.
No question.
They did great things in the tournament.
Right.
And every coach that's been here, that has stayed here, got this team to the tournament. Cal did it every single year, and he had top 10 classes every single year. When he started getting them in,
he didn't. He didn't. He started out not making it.
Well, he started
NIT
out with leftovers.
No, I understand that. But Cal is Cal, man. He's a whole different. He's a whole different level of coach.
That's why Penny takes the job, man. You take the job, go to the tournament. You don't take the job, get top 10 recruiting class, and say, well, we might get in. We need to do this.
Okay, so what do you think of Penny's job then? 5 years. If they don't go this year, and they still can, but if they don't go this year, it'd be 1 out of 5. So how would you?
It'd be a shame. It'd be a shame they don't go this year. But I don't want to talk about that. I really want to talk about the Grizzlies. Grizzlies, you can't stand pat. I'm sorry. You probably could have thought about that before last night, before the Lakers made their move, before Phoenix made their move.
Mm-hmm.
The Grizzlies has got to go out and get better. They are not going to be able to win. They think they can win the West with what they got. They can't.
Yeah, you're saying what I say.
Yeah. Real. Mm-hmm. They have to get better at the wing. They must get a more physical wing, someone who can shoot and defend. There's no question. They need to get another big. So I think it's going to take Tillman and a couple of guys to get moved to get where they need to be.
Another big? You think they need another big?
They need another athletic wing.
They need a wing. They need a wing who can shoot threes and play defense. Right.
Big. They need to have somebody who can go in and won't hurt the team. Because you're going to lose Tillman in one. If they make a deal, Tillman's going to get got. He's going to move on.
Thank you, Dwayne. Appreciate the call. I think they're all right with the bigs if you're looking at what Jaren Jackson Jr. can do athletically with Steven Adams when he's in there. But I'm with him as far as a strong 3-and-D wing. I absolutely agree. But let me go back to this Tigers thing again. I was on with Stats and Bryant Dacus. And, yes, I think because look at Kentucky right now. They don't go to the tournament every single year. I think that's an awful lot to ask. And he wants to put him in that category with Duke and all that. I think that's crazy. I think the University of Memphis program is certainly a top 30 program because when you look at all the lists of top programs that people put together over the years, Memphis always is around 30, 32, 35, somewhere in that neighborhood. But they're upper echelon. They're not Duke. They're not North Carolina. They're not Kansas. They're not Kentucky. And they don't go every single year. They go more than not. But I think because you're going to have a bad year where the chemistry doesn't click like last year, that to ask them to go every single year, I think is crazy. Now, this new revamped conference, yeah, they should win the conference. They should win the conference every year. My expectations go up much higher for this revamped conference when you lose a power like Houston, a very good national program like Cincinnati, which has been off since Cronin left, but has the ability to get back, and certainly a UCF team that's not that good, but from time to time they have good seasons. I just don't believe that this past whatever years they've been in the American Conference, to ask them to be in the tournament, the national tournament, when sometimes it's a one-bid league, sometimes it's a two-bid league, that's an awful lot to ask. But what I was saying yesterday on the show was that I guarantee you every Tiger fan, especially diehard fans, expect them to be there every year, like Dwayne just said.
Yeah, and I mean, I think when people say every year, they don't literally mean like it's 30 out of 30. They think it's pretty much every year. Like,
I think Dwayne meant 30 out of 30.
And I think that's a fair, like, I think they should go 8 out of 10 years.
Yes, I think that's fine. That's fine.
That's more than every other year.
Well, again, I'm not also technically going every other year. You could have a run of 6 straight years that you go, and then a couple of years that you don't. But there's going to be down years. But to literally expect them to be a tournament team every single year, I think our expectations are a little bit out of whack, even though Penny puts together these great classes. But again, this class was a whole different style class.
Is it fair to have expected that Penny would have been to one tournament, more than one tournament by
Absolutely.
now? Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely fair. I think this is his 5th year. He should be going to at least his 3rd. I wouldn't say 5, but I think it would be multiple. It has to be multiple. And there's still a chance, obviously.
Although 2 number 1 recruiting classes probably should have been 5.
Right. Well, Wiseman, the whole thing was a disaster. I'm not going down that road again. When we come back to open up hour 2, we will talk about the Tigers. We will talk about their win last night. We'll continue talking NBA with the trade deadline rapidly approaching. Other news from around the sports world, including some college football news involving a former Tiger head coach. And it's a big night in the NFL as well with the NFL honors this evening. We are just underway already. A wild and wacky show. 1 hour in the books. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Save on the furniture and mattresses you want during the President's Day sale at the Great American Home Store. Everything's on sale, from bedroom to dining room, recliners, sectional sofas, and those comfy sleep sets. Top American-made brands including Southern Motion, Corinthian, England, Sealy, Tempur-Pedic, Restonic, and more. American-made sofas as low as $6.99. Kick back and relax in a new recliner, rocker recliners, gliders, and lift chairs. Shop our huge selection of casual to formal dining sets. And nobody offers a better selection of sofas, sectionals, reclining sofas. Saving store-wide off our already low prices. If you choose to pay cash, the more you buy, the more you save. Or take advantage of special financing up to 5 years with no minimum purchase and no money down. Come in today to one of Great American's huge showrooms in Memphis and South Haven. Or shop and buy online at gogahs.com. The President's Day sale now at the Great American Home Store.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? everything. A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep your operation running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, Maria in Miami, and Jules in Troy, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with high-quality supplies for every industry, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, Orco hard coolers, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Sports 56 traffic.
Right now, no accidents or delays to report. No accident or delays. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:04 the time. Hour 2 here on Sports 56 mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you on this Thursday, February 9th, 2023. Currently 45 degrees. We'll get up to about 56 today. Some clouds this morning and then sunshine later today. And the weather looks to be nice tomorrow and through the weekend, although temperatures won't get any higher than the mid-50s. Coming up in just a few moments, we'll talk Tigers basketball, college basketball from last night, a wild finish in Nashville between Vandy and Tennessee. We'll continue the Grizzlies discussion. Then Dave Mason from Bet Online will join us to talk about all those crazy prop bets for Super Bowl 57. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Their floor model sale continues. They're at 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. And the second hour of the program is brought to you by our friends at James Gaddis Jewelers. They've been a part of the Memphis fabric for a long, long time. They've been in that same Mid-South or same Summer Avenue, make that Poplar Avenue location for the last 25 years or so. Before that, they were on Summer Avenue. So like I said, they've been around a long, long time, and so many generations of families have bought their jewelry, have purchased it from James Gaddis Jewelers. They are your family's jeweler. 4900 Poplar to be exact, between Mendenhall and St. Nick. You can't miss it. You probably drive by it a million times. On the web at GaddisJewelers.com. Got Valentine's Day coming up on Tuesday. Gentlemen, get on out there and get that loved one in your household, and could be several, right? For your daughters, for obviously your wife or your girlfriend. They got bracelets and necklaces and earrings, gemstones of all types, beautiful rings. It's all at James Gaddis Jewelers for Valentine's Day or any time of the year. 4900 Poplar, on the web at GaddisJewelers.com, or call them if you have any questions. 901-767-9648. Tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings. They are full-service jewelers, so they got two-bench jewelers ready to serve you, whether it's a simple cleaning, whether it's a resetting of your rock, whatever the case may be, they will take care of it for you. James Gaddis Jewelers, second hour sponsor of Sports 56 Mornings. All right, Tigers last night look good, as they should, against South Florida. They beat the Bulls 99-81 in a must-win situation. 18-6, now 8-3 in the conference. They move into third with the Temple loss at SMU. Kendrick Davis, bounce-back game after struggling on Saturday for the most part. He went for 23, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals. DeAndre Williams, 26 points. And then Keontae Kennedy steps up again with a season-high 19 points. Elijah McCadden went for 14. Really good balanced scoring with that team. Defensively, they gave up probably a little bit too much, but Tyler Harris is going to do Tyler Harris things, and congratulations to that young man. He went for 28 points. He also became the American Conference's all-time leader in career three-point shots made at 266. Hit a bank shot to break the record. And again, an amazing career for Tyler Harris, which he spent 2 different stints at the University of Memphis. But, the Tigers just taking care of business. Could not afford it to lose that game in Tampa. So certainly to come away with a pretty solid, easy, I would say, for the most part. Never really was a struggle in that game. 18-point win. I think they feel pretty good about themselves today.
Yeah, you just go take care of business. You can, look at the 58% shooting in the second half, or what was it? What was it in the second half that they shot? 61% that they shot from the field in the second half. And there's certainly some things defensively, but you had a comfortable lead the whole time, so I'm not expecting that the defensive effort was going to be some crazy lockdown thing. Every time South Florida would make a little run, cut it down to 10 or whatever, the Tigers always had the response to push it back up. So they were never really challenged, after probably, 10, 15 minutes into the game. So it was a workman-like effort to just go in and take care of business and move along to the next one.
Yeah, it's amazing what happens when you limit your turnovers and make your free throws. They had 8 turnovers after committing 22 against Tulane, and I know Tulane's a much better team than South Florida, but 21 of 24 free throws Memphis made. 21 of 24. You'll take that any day of the week. So again, good balance scoring, good solid win. Next game is Sunday against Temple. Temple will be in town. Memphis won against the Owls on that last-second game-winning shot by Kendrick Davis in Philadelphia. That'll be an 11 a.m. tip. And then after Temple, you'll have UCF a week from today at home, and then on to Houston a week from this Sunday. So certainly a rugged schedule coming up. Memphis has to keep winning. Some of the bracketology they're in, Jerry Palm has them in as a 9. Others, like Lenardi, has them, I think it's like first 4 out, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head. So that squarely puts them on the bubble. You can't afford any of these losses on the road, even though they're roadies, because these are bad teams you're playing. Still got to play Wichita State on the road, still have to play, and they're okay. And you got to play SMU on the road. And SMU last night gets the win over Temple, 72-71. But these are teams you should beat, and with their nets would be bad losses. And then at home, you can't afford a home loss. Again, I'm taking Houston out of the equation for a second, but you will have, I guess now 7 games remaining in the regular season. If you can win the 5, and then split with Houston, you're in good shape going into the conference tournament. But if you lose one of these, you are definitely going to be forced to win at least one against Houston.
The Temple. If anybody can figure out how Temple could win at Houston and then lose at SMU, good luck. College basketball is weird.
Tell me about it. Look at my bank account. I mean, I can't pick one. It's amazing. Well, maybe SMU had that added incentive last night because George Kliavkoff, the commissioner of the Pac-12, was there meeting with SMU officials. As we talked about yesterday on the show, SMU is being courted by the Pac-12. The American Conference could eventually lose another to the Power 5, and it's not Memphis.
They bumped themselves up to 213 in the net. So
how about that?
They're on the rise.
They're on the rise. Also in the American last night, you had UCF winning at Wichita State, 72-67. Again, UCF will be in 1 week from today to play Memphis. They had trailed through most of that game, or for most of that game, Houston all over Tulsa, as you would expect, 80-42. Now, in the SEC yesterday, Alabama looks the part again. The third-ranked team in the nation just absolutely destroyed Florida. Florida's a bubble team. Beat them by 24.
Yeah, when Alabama gets rolling, and Brandon Miller was great again last night. Like they get when they get rolling, that offense can put up a lot of points, and they kind of overwhelm teams with their speed and how they play. So when it's going good, they look really, really good, and I still think they very much are one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the country.
Yeah, let me correct myself. 28-point win, right? 97-69. Elsewhere in the SEC, Mississippi State wins at home against LSU. 64-53. And then the shocker last night in Nashville. A three-pointer at the buzzer by Tyron Lawrence, and Vanderbilt beat 6th-ranked Tennessee 66-65. I think they had lost 11 in a row to Tennessee before that win last night. What a great win for Jerry Stackhouse's team.
Yeah, no question. And again, Tennessee just, I don't know. They're just so weird. As good as they can look and then as bad as they can look at different times. I don't know. It's the more and more you watch them, the more and more it gets hard to believe that they could put together a run in the tournament because they just can't put together that many games in a row where they are the good version of themselves.
Yeah, it's hard to figure. We were talking yesterday with Jerry, and I said, what's the chance? What are the chances they get to a number 1 seed? He said, good chance. They have a lot of opportunities. And they go out there, and I know it's a roadie, but they lose at Vanderbilt. Memphis, having won at Vanderbilt to open up the regular season, so this certainly helps with an opponent's opponent and a big victory helps the Tigers with Vanderbilt knocking off Tennessee, again, by the score of 66-65. If you want to comment, this is the time. Sports 56 listener lines are open to you. You can call in or text in. 901-360-8255 on the Tigers, on the Grizzlies, on Super Bowl 57, whatever is on your mind. Coming up at 8:25 or 8:30, Dave Mason from Bet Online to talk about all those props and the silliness of Super Bowl 57 gambling. Keith has called in. Keith, how are you?
Oh, Lord. How y'all doing?
Good.
Good, man.
I love your show.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Houston is real now. Tennessee stands no dang chance against Houston. They're nothing. If they can't handle Vanderbilt, they definitely can't handle Houston. But I had a parlay on money line on Tennessee and Memphis. And golly, Bill, I mean, I was in bad trouble. I mean, because I had to double down on Memphis to recover a little. But,
it's hard right now gambling on college basketball.
I know, but tell me, Tennessee, all right, so they're number 6.
Mm-hmm.
They ought to be number 26, okay? they just don't play. I don't know. It's just not good.
They're just not consistent. They're a good team, but, man, last night they won.
Offensively, they have game. I mean, you look at the last 3 games, they've lost 2 of the 3. The one they won, they scored 46 points. But they've scored 54, 46, and 65 the last 3 games now.
Yeah. I mean, it's bad. But I love Memphis. All right, I'm going to brag on my Tigers now. All right, Tigers did really good. They attack. They don't have Malcolm and they don't have Alo, but that's okay. I can deal with that as long as they win.
Exactly.
And, but I'm still worried about them making the tournament.
All right. Thank you, Keith. Appreciate the call. Still a long way to go. Kenny's next. Hi, Kenny.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
Good, Kenny.
Hold on. Let me just step out so I can get a signal.
Sorry, we got time.
He was talking about going to that tournament every year, Memphis basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just be realistic. In this current setup, it should be about every year. I mean, we're talking about the conference that we're in now and the amount of investment in the basketball program. Why wouldn't it be every year? That's what I don't understand. I understand the first year. But after that, you said in 5 years, we don't go this year. This is not acceptable. I'm sorry. It's not acceptable.
You got one really good team in the conference. And other than that, you've had 2 number 1 recruiting classes under Penny. But I mean, even goes before Penny when you had the end of Pastor through Tubby. Like, this stretch for Tiger basketball should be unacceptable for fans.
And the thing is, you don't need a number 1 class to get into the NCAA tournament.
No.
Right.
It ain't like you don't even need a top 10 class to get into the NCAA tournament. You look at a lot of these. I don't know how many top 10 classes Houston has had. Probably hasn't been that many.
No.
And I know they haven't had better recruiting overall the last 5 years than Memphis. When you look at where those classes were ranked. So I'm tired of this idea that it's almost like we think Memphis basketball. And look, I love Penny. Memphis basketball didn't start with Penny Hardaway. In fact, during his time in Memphis, that wasn't even the highest levels of Memphis basketball.
Mm-hmm.
When he played there, they made an Elite Eight. Man, for 7 years in the 80s, we had Sweet 16s, Final Four, and won probably as many games within the top 5 as far as basketball wins in the country. So, and then, of course, John's years, and then the years in the 70s. So I'm just saying, when you look at the current state and where we are, why wouldn't we expect not to be in the tournament every year?
All right. Thank you, Kenny.
A down year should be 20 wins. That's a down year.
I appreciate it. And look, and I know Kenny and Dwayne, and I'm telling you, every Tiger fan that calls in or texts in is going to say they should go every single year to the tournament. Now, back in the day, granted, they played in, I think, tougher conferences before a lot of these teams went on and jumped into these major Power 5, if you will, conferences. The competition, I think, was stern. Just look at some of the conferences that Memphis was in previously and the competition in those conferences. Yet, if you look at the history of Memphis basketball, they have had some highs, man. Absolutely some highs. But they have also had lulls. They weren't going to the tournament every single year in the 70s. They weren't going to the tournament every single year in the 80s. They weren't going to the tournament every single year in the 90s. But they were going a lot, but it wasn't every single year. Literally, I'm telling you, the Tiger fans believe, like our last caller, that they should go every single year. That's a lot to ask for. Now, should they be going more under Penny? Absolutely. I agree with them 100%. And I'm one of those hard asses, to be honest with you, as far as, they should go every year. But really, in reality, there's a lot more basketball programs out there that can play the game. It's a lot different than it was in the 60s and 70s and 80s, for that matter. I think next year, with the revamped conference, they should be the bell cow. They should be number 1. They should win it and get the automatic, the AQ. But right now, I would say every other year is not too crazy. If they go this year, it'll be 2 out of 5. If they don't, it's 1 out of 5, right? That's below expectations. But I think to say every single year, and again, we had Dwayne, or I think it was Dwayne, comparing them to Duke. I mean, come on now. Reality has to settle in a little bit here.
Drew says, I think the base expectation for Memphis basketball every year is to make the tournament.
There we go.
Obviously, some years they will fall short, but once in the last 10 years just can't happen.
Yeah, expectations are to make the tournament every year. And yes, I completely agree with that. But because of reasons, because of things, I mean, yes, am I making an excuse for Penny in the Wiseman year? I am. The thing's just imploded. Did he call some of that? Look, whatever the case was, that was an abomination, right? That was implosion at its finest. But there's no excuses after that to not be able to make the tournament. Last year they got there after a slow start. This year they have to.
That team without James Wiseman they had the conference player of the year.
I understand.
And a first-round draft pick. That should get them to the tournament.
They're probably going to have the conference player of the year this year.
But I mean, I hate the Wiseman thing. They still had the conference player of the year as a first-round draft pick. That still should have got them to the tournament that year. That team should have still been a tournament team.
Yeah, but it put the whole team behind the 8 ball. They're depending on that guy.
Listen,
sometimes you can use an excuse.
Well,
that was a legitimate
no matter
excuse.
what year is brought up about Penny Hardaway, there's always an excuse.
It was supposed to be Wiseman was supposed to be one of the best players, not only in the conference, in the country. It derailed the team.
But they had one of the best players in the country still.
Precious was really, really good, but he had to step up because Wiseman was supposed to be that guy to take him to the promised land. Now all of a sudden you lose the guy. You have the NCAA. The whole thing was just bad. Melvin is dialed in. Hey, Melvin, how are you?
Hey, I mean, we got people calling in complaining after win, the season not over with, and people talking about going to tournament every year. I mean, you got to change like Calipari, one of the greats. He's on the bubble. North Carolina's in the championship game last year. They got one quad, one win. I mean, don't get me wrong. Every year coming to see, that's the goal to make the tournament. But the Wiseman, y'all know, nobody went to the tournament that year, right? You can't count that year. Nobody went to the tournament that year. This is fourth year, and if he go this year, he'll be 50%. So what are we talking about?
Well, he wasn't going to go to the tournament that year. They weren't going to be that large team.
Did they have a time? We split with Houston. We split with Cincinnati. We split with Wichita State. We had Tennessee. We had wins that year.
Melvin? What do you think they should? What do you think is realistic for Memphis basketball?
I think the goal should be to go to tournament every year.
The goal. But what about reality?
Yeah. Four out of 5.
Okay, so 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Isn't that what you said earlier?
Yeah.
But are we taking in consideration? Are we taking in consideration what Tubby had the program and what Penny got? The first year Penny got here with Tubby players, he swept Greg Marshall. And Greg Marshall, he one of the greatest coaches. And Penny swept him with Tubby players. So what are people complaining about? The season not over. It's a lot. Kentucky, Auburn, those old guys in the SEC, they got one quad, one win. But these things like the bubble stuff, these folks let Joe Lenard and stuff fool them. You look at resumes. We got the same resumes as those teams in the SEC.
All right. Thank you, Melvin. Appreciate the phone call. Let's get one more in. Dennis. Hey, Dennis, how are you?
Hey, man. How y'all doing today?
Good.
Hey, man, look, I'm kind of with Melvin. I don't know what everybody's complaining about. I'm not finna get into that end of the pool, but what I wanted to ask you guys, y'all kind of informed me on something that I think you said the Pac-12 was looking at SMU.
Yes.
What do you think it is that's holding us back? Or this? I know TV market has a big deal to do with it, man, but it's just ridiculous, man, that we just get looked over like this. And people talking about football, and I remember hearing like a month ago, I forgot who it was, but they were looking at Gonzaga, and I'm like, Gonzaga don't even have a football program. It's just crazy, man. So I wanted to get you guys' opinion on that, man, because, and one more thing, I know it'll never happen. It's a pipe dream. Our rightful place would be the SEC. Man, because, and I know we would get our heads kicked around at first, man, but we're in the middle of SEC country. The money that would bring into the city, the revenue that would come into the Liberty Bowl, man, it would just, every state that's in the SEC almost touches Tennessee. So that's kind of what you got to think about.
All right, thank you, Dennis. And I'm not sure about the history. Brett would know this more, but didn't Memphis have an opportunity? It's not like they said no, but they could. Years and years and years ago, could have been a part of the SEC that, and I may be just making that up, but if they were given that green light years and years ago, how different everything would be now. It's just, it boggles the mind to think about that. But I think first of all, with SMU, what the Pac-12 is trying to do is it looks like they're going to have to add to make the contract, the television contract that they will have more valuable. So it looks like they're going to have to add. So they're looking at San Diego State, good Mountain West team, good location out in California. That makes a lot of sense. And then they're trying to put their footprint into Texas. And there's not much left, but there's SMU. When at one time used to be a big-time football program before the death penalty and all that when they were playing in a Power 5 conference and they had the likes of Eric Dickerson and Craig James. But I think that's why they're going after SMU. As far as Memphis being overlooked or just passed by, I've given my thoughts a million times on this. What do you say?
I don't know. The Pac-12 certainly isn't going to be, is it a spot for Memphis?
No, it's not.
But the Big 12 and the fact that they have never been able to maybe crack that, especially with the latest editions of the Big 12, certainly some of that was timing and some of that, as far as, like a Cincinnati being really good at that moment. But I don't know. It's just, yes, the SEC would be the great spot. But the fact of everything he said about Memphis and its location is why they'll never get into the SEC, because there's too many teams in the SEC that wouldn't want Memphis to be a part of the SEC because they could come in here and get talent and everything else out of Memphis. So, I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea why the Big 12 just wouldn't want Memphis in all of the times they have looked to add teams.
It's not because of a lack of effort. Certainly the powers that be are doing everything they can. I've always thought that the perception of the city of Memphis from the outside is probably really bad, and I think that's hurt. Academics they weren't up to snuff, but they have now since improved. That was under the regime of Dr. Rudd, and now it continues to get better with the academia. I don't know. I mean, I think Memphis has some good facilities. They're not on-campus facilities. I don't know if that's a factor because there are some schools, certainly in Power 5, that have facilities that are off-campus, but most of them have on-campus. I don't know.
Sunrise Memphis, Sunrise East, the newest location out there on Poplar Avenue, the old Blue Plate Cafe building there on Poplar for you folks out east. If you haven't given it a try yet, you need to do it. You will fall in love like so many others with the breakfast, with the lunch, everything from Sunrise. Again, the original location is at 670 Jefferson Avenue, and now you've got the Sunrise East on Poplar Avenue, the old Blue Plate Cafe building. And breakfast is second to none. The biscuit sandwiches, the different breakfast plates they've got. But also don't forget about the lunch. They've got great lunch items as well. I've had the bacon cheeseburger here recently. I've had the French dip here recently. All kinds of great stuff on that lunch menu as well at Sunrise. Sunrise901.com is a website where you can check things out. You can or you can check out the menu. You can order online for pickup to make it very quick for you to pop in and pop out of Sunrise. They open up at 6 o'clock in the morning here out east. So, folks, before you head into work, maybe you want to stop in and get some biscuit sandwiches for the folks at the office, or just go grab yourself a little breakfast before you head to work. They will certainly take care of you and good care of you at Sunrise.
Got a text on YouTube to the fan that compared us to Duke earlier. I want what you are drinking this morning. We will take a timeout. When we come back, we're talking Super Bowl 57 from the gambling aspect of things and the prop bets and all that fun stuff. Dave Mason from Bet Online joins us next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
With winter arriving, we start to think about spirit, and I've got the spirit I think about. It's from Old Dominick. You know Old Dominick? That is our hometown distillery, right in the heart of downtown. Old Dominick, by the way, gives full distillery tours with curated tastings. There's craft cocktails. It is really a neat place to go. So when you're looking for something to do downtown, something a little different, I suggest you go see my friends at Old Dominick. The other aspect about Old Dominick is the product itself. What a great spirit that they have just finally released. So they have this master distiller. Her name is Alex Castle. She won't let anything be released until it's perfect. We've been waiting a long time for two whiskeys. One's a sipping, the other is bottle in bond. They are incredible. It took a long time, but Old Dominick has finally released those two whiskeys. You will love the spirit at Old Dominick.
Hey, Zeke, how's it going? Oh, it's going great. Look, I just started the Central Barbecue Diet.
Haven't heard of it.
Well, then, I tell you what. You just sit down right there, and I will tell you everything that you need to know about the Central Barbecue Diet.
Eating Central Barbecue exclusively has not been shown in clinical studies to reduce weight. Eating a diet of exclusively Central Barbecue has not been proven to make you more popular, attractive, and intelligent, although it almost certainly would. Plus, you know what? Who am I to tell you how to live your life? Do what you want. Take up golf. Get a puppy. Learn to crochet. Eat Central Barbecue 3 meals a day. It's your life. Don't let some disclaimer guy on a Central Barbecue commercial tell you what to do. You're a person. Live your life. Eat barbecue.
Acura of Memphis invites you to experience the all-new, completely redesigned 2022 Acura MDX. It's the most advanced SUV Acura has ever built. Experience the convenience of full connectivity, including built-in Alexa, Wi-Fi hotspot, and wireless charging, from the stunning interior complete with third-row seating. Stop by our state-of-the-art facility and take advantage of our aggressive APR offers today at Ridgeway and 385. Or shop online from the convenience of home now. Visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
Save on the furniture and mattresses you want during the President's Day sale at the Great American Home Store. Everything's on sale, from bedroom to dining room recliners, sectional sofas, and those comfy sleep sets. Top American-made brands including Southern Motion, Corinthian, England, Sealy, Tempur-Pedic, Restonic, and more. American-made sofas as low as $6.99. Kick back and relax in a new recliner, rocker recliners, gliders, and lift chairs. Shop our huge selection of casual to formal dining sets. And nobody offers a better selection of sofas, sectionals, reclining sofas. Saving store-wide off our already low prices. If you choose to pay cash, the more you buy, the more you save. Or take advantage of special financing up to 5 years with no minimum purchase and no money down. Come in today to one of Great American's huge showrooms in Memphis and South Haven. Or shop and buy online at GoGAHS.com. the President's Day sale, now at the Great American Home Store.
Catch your Grizzlies tomorrow at 7 p.m. when they take on the Minnesota Timberwolves for their annual HBCU night, celebrating Black History Month, presented by Pinnacle. The first 5,000 fans receive a Grizzlies scarf. Get your tickets today by calling 901-888-HOOP or visit Grizzlies.com.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Sports 56 traffic.
Right now, I got working one accident downtown Memphis on Chanel Avenue at Harbor Avenue. That's Channel Avenue at Harbor Avenue. Keep it right here. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now, back to Sports 56 mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Yesterday we were talking about the record amount of bets that people are going to make this Sunday, or at least what the expectations are. $16 billion, was it, Eli?
Mm-hmm.
$16 billion. And some of those bets will be on prop bets. In fact, a lot of those bets will be made with the prop bets. Prop bets are always something very popular when it comes to the Super Bowl. And it's always great to talk about the big game with Dave Mason from Bet Online. You can follow him on Twitter at Dave Mason, BOL. He joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Hey, Dave, how are you?
Great, man. A few more days. I can't wait.
I can't wait either. Look, it's always exciting. There's always some new things, new props that come up depending on the Super Bowl, maybe the location, what's going on in the world. What could be something, and probably what is something right now that's out there that you can bet on that is something maybe a little bit unusual, or maybe something that just pertains to this particular Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the props are such a big story for the Super Bowl. You know, probably during the regular season, props do probably about 10-15% of the action on the game. Maybe a little bit more these days with all the same game parlays, up to 20%. But for the Super Bowl, it's about 50-50. And that's growing every year. I mean, these props are just so popular. But, yeah, I mean, Super Bowl, it's famous for all these exotic props. And every year we try to look for new storylines. I mean, the big one this year is just the Kelsey two brothers facing off for the first time. And a great storyline we noticed last week was Jason Kelsey's wife is 9 months pregnant, and she could have that baby any day now. She's going to take her, she can take her OBGYN to the game with her. So, you know, when I saw that, I'm thinking, okay, there's a prop in there somewhere. So we're matching up the weight of the baby. So it's going to be probably right there, 9 pounds more, give or take a pound, right? So weight of the baby versus Travis Kelce, his brother's total receptions in the game. So that's kind of one I came up with last week that I kind of like, you know, cross. And I don't know if you call it, you know, there's always this cross sports props, but we put in the cross sports. We're like, where are we going to put this? We're like, let's put in the cross baby / sports prop. I guess that is. I don't know.
that was tough to define. There's no doubt. I know you guys got quite a bit of presidential stuff in here as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, Biden, the president always gives their speech. So, you know, City Biden says during the pregame interview first, Philadelphia or Scranton. He always say, you know, he's from Scranton. So he loves reminding people he's from Scranton. So Philadelphia or Scranton, length of Biden's pregame interview over under 4.5 minutes. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's part of the event. You know, Super Bowl is not just a game; it's the whole darn event. And every year the president always gives us a little rah-rah speech, so we have to have props on that.
The line itself, where did you guys open it, and where has it gone? What has been kind of the line on the game for you guys?
Yeah, we opened at 1.5 KC. That got bet up, so that was Conference Championship Sunday. That's what we opened up. KC 1.5-point favorites. That got bet immediately. Philly was favored in a matter of an hour or two, and that went up to 2.5. Philly minus 2.5, and then that kind of got bet back down. Some sharps took KC plus 2.5, and so that dropped back down to where it is. And it went down to 2, but it's been 1.5 for a while now, so it's pretty steady at Eagles minus 1.5. Most of the cash is on Philly, but that's coming down every day. The other day, I think Monday was about 69% of the cash is on the Eagles, and the other Tuesday was 7%, then Wednesday 64%, and now 62% or so. So it seems like the late cash is starting to trickle in on KC.
Other than the actual line of the game or the over-under of the game and taking props out of play, what do you think the most, or maybe the most popular bet right now is? Anything else that you could bet in this game?
Oh, man, it's taking all that. I mean, the spread's always the most popular total money line. Then 10. I mean, so many of the props.
Hurts rushing yards, maybe, or something, because that seems to be unpopular.
Mahomes over. Any of the big name when it comes to this, the props that get the most cash are the standard player props. Bigger the name, the better. So Patrick Mahomes over 295.5 passing yards. That's getting a lot of action. Actually, the under on Jalen Hurts got hit up early rather. It was like 243.5. That dropped down to 237.5, and now it's 238.5. So the under got hit, but the actions there starting to even out. Patrick Mahomes over touchdown passes is currently 2.5 plus 140. So big names, Mahomes, anything related with Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Jalen Hurts, that gets bet big. The MVP market gets pounded. I mean that gets big time right now. They're betting let's see, Mahomes highest bet count, Travis Kelce after that, Hassan Reddick, and defensive player there. He's at the third highest bet count. So after that's Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts.
Wow, what are is Mahomes the current favorite for MVP? Who's the favorite, or is it Hurts?
No, it's Hurts. That's just and that's based on that the Eagles are favored to win the game. It's close though. I mean, the quarterbacks dominate this market on a yearly basis, so it's you don't get the very long odds on him. Hurts is currently plus 110, followed by Mahomes at plus 125, and if KC was favored, those by 1.5 points, those odds would be flipped. Maybe a little bit different. Maybe Mahomes plus 105 or so, but it wouldn't be too far off.
The former Memphis Tiger in the backfield for the Eagles, Kenneth Gainwell, has had a couple of big games in a row in the playoffs. Where do you guys have him over under on both rushing and receiving?
Let me check here. Rushing. Let me click on it real quick. Kenneth Gainwell, 19.5 over under rushing yards, and let me get receiving here. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I put you on the spot for this one.
Nah, no worries. There's so many props that it's over under receiving yards 11.5, and he's 66-1 to win the MVP, and people are betting him. He's one of our highest liabilities. That does have a lot to do with the fact that he's 66-1 to win it. So it's kind of a lottery ticket. There's long odds, but yeah.
Dave Mason joining us from Bet Online. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Dave Mason BOL. All right, I might be putting you on the spot again here since you got your iPad or computer open.
Yeah, I'll click away.
Jake Elliott, former Memphis Tigers kicker. I love the field goal. I think he's going to go over the number. What is the number right now of field goals, and what is the odds?
Okay, you really put me on the spot there. We have so many folders, and
I mean, this is one I really love. I've been thinking about this one all week long. That I could see where they get shut down and they settle for field goals, and Jake's a really good kicker. Obviously, it's probably going to be like over 1.5 or maybe even the size.
Yeah, it'll be over 1.5 juice. I'm kind of scrambling here, looking for it. There's so many props, but it'll be over 1.5. Definitely, probably juice on the over.
Okay. Well, if you find it, look, don't worry about it. If you find it, you find it. While you're looking, I wanted to bring up this prop. This is a really cool prop. Who will be seen first during the national anthem? Jason Kelce, at plus 125. Travis Kelce at plus 150,
right,
or a split screen of both at plus 300. That's really good odds. I can see Fox doing the split screen and get 3-1 on your money.
Yeah, no, that's that's one of those props that I kind of came up with a few years ago when you're doing national anthem stuff and we're handicapping national anthem. We all know about the over-unders at times and all that stuff. And I was like, what else can we do? And I noticed, they panned to different, they showed a close-up of different players. So I was like, all right, which coach is going to be shown first, which quarterback, et cetera. So this year, obviously, we got to match up the two brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but then we're thinking, okay, well, they're brothers. What if they do a split screen? So we had to add that as an option. Absolutely.
I love the fact you have, will an unauthorized person enter the field of play?
Yeah, a.k.a. streaker, right? The old streaker. But you can't really say, we say streaker, but you can't really say streaker because they're usually clothed, and I guess streakers are naked. Back in the 70s, I guess they're streakers, but now they're unauthorized person. Yeah, and if they do, will they reach the 50-yard line? Will they reach the end zone, etc.? So there's a few different props for the unauthorized person / streaker.
And of course, you have all the things about the halftime show, from the color of Rihanna's hair to the dress to the song. How many people do you guys have that have to kind of go through and grade all of these things and figure out what all the winners are of all the different bets?
Yeah, we have we'll have 4 or 5 guys on there, and they're grading as it goes. It's pretty hectic. For the halftime stuff, I usually send a tweet out that be patient with this. Often we have to go to the tapes just to rewatch it and watch it. And okay, well a bunch of guys sitting around YouTubing the halftime show and saying, okay, what kind of eyeshadow is that? What kind of earrings are? It's very bizarre. It's a very bizarre scene. We're fighting back and forth on what she was on her wardrobe. No, that was not purple. That was not a purple dress. That bunch of. It's very bizarre, but it's fun.
Well, you might wear one of those dresses like the one we had a few years ago, where dude, some people see gold, some people see blue, or whatever.
Yeah. Hopefully she's not quick change, and the ladies going in and out of her dresses. What's the most controversial ending to a prop bet you had that was just like a lot of people are irate about? Do you have one that stands out over the years?
Yeah, there's been every Super Bowl. There's one. I mean, the one that I was crazy, and it was just I still think about it, and I still reference it. Was when Shakira and J-Lo did the halftime show, and we had this prop of one of them have butt cleavage, and I'm thinking like plumber's crack. You know what I mean? Like that. That's what I described in the wordings. If you don't know what butt cleavage is, look at plumber's crack, right? With the plumber, he's fixing your sink and the top of his crack's hanging out. So that was it. It was plain as day to me. But people started hitting me up, tweeting me irate with a screenshot, and she had very tight, skin tight pants on, and you could see like the outline of her backside, right? And you could see but you couldn't see it skin to skin. You could see it with her very tight clothes on, and people were saying that was butt cleavage. I'm like, that's not butt cleavage. So I'm like sending on Twitter, I'm sending shots of a plumber's crack. I'm like, this is butt cleavage. So this went on for like 45 minutes, and players are irate, and I'm like, you know what? This grade both sides winner. I can't argue for the next 48 hours on what butt cleavage is. So that was like funny. That was just like the moment, like, did I really – I have a college degree. Am I really putting my college degree to good use at this moment? But that's the one that stands out. But every year and for these fun kind of exotic props, you got to kind of have open mind. We know there's going to be a gray area on some of them. So usually there's 1 or 2 every year. We're just like, you know what? this great both sides winner. I don't have the time to be arguing back and forth about butt cleavage and all this other silly stuff.
Yeah, just imagine telling your parents when you were a kid, someday I'm going to be arguing with people about butt cleavage.
They think I'm dealing with math somehow. Yeah, I work with math and number. Okay, good. Go ahead,
What's
David.
what's the over-under on the national anthem?
2 minutes and 7 seconds. Yeah, 2 minutes and 7 seconds. And
I love this.
We had some very suspicious betting on that, though. I mean, that's a challenge and prop every year because they have the dress rehearsal and news and info gets leaked. Some security guard with a stopwatch and who's associated with some, betting syndicates, and all of a sudden we get a wave of action coming in.
And that goes with when you bet. And I would never bet something like that, but when the actual vocals completely stop, or the music maybe that's behind the vocals stops.
First note to last note. So if the guy's got a flute out there or violin or something, that doesn't count. We're talking first note to last note.
How many patties will be on Andy Reid's post-game burger? Over, under 1.5.
I take the over there.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be over, right?
That's over. It's got to be over.
How long does it take
Andy
for
Reid
you?
don't do no one patty stuff.
No. He's doing 3 patties. How long does it take for you to compile all these exotic props?
We start thinking, we start thinking of stuff for like the national anthem. Once the national anthem singers announce, we're on it. We're thinking of stuff. Halftime, same thing. Okay, what's their songs? What do they look like? What kind of clothes they wear? So you get an early start there, and then once the after conference championship Sunday, that's when you know the matchups and you can go into different storylines, and every team has their own storylines, whether it's Andy Reid eating hamburgers or Philadelphia, are they going to mention Rocky or cheesesteaks first? Quoting any kind of Always Sunny in Philadelphia lines, all that kind of stuff. That kicks in Sunday. You're starting to think about it. Monday, we have a meeting, our marketing guys. A lot of this stuff comes from the marketing teams, not the odds guys. They're more kind of math nerds and, sticking to the numbers where they don't really have the creative juices flowing. So this comes more from the marketing team. And, by Tuesday, we're starting to fire stuff out.
Well, it is always fun. It's always great to talk to you about it. It is going to be a lot of fun on Sunday. By the way, do you got a pick for the game?
Well, I'm from Philadelphia, so I'm going Philadelphia.
There you go. I'm from South Jersey, but I don't like the
Eagles.
All right. But I don't
All
like
right.
the Eagles. The Colts are my team. They've always been my team. Yeah. Phillies are my team. Flyers are my team. Yeah. Probably because the Eagles were terrible when I was growing up. I don't. Yeah, it was always the Colts.
Baltimore Colts.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I'm a weird guy. Dave, listen.
At least it's not the Cowboys.
At least it's not my partner over here.
I'm a Cowboys fan. So.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
We'll end it on that before we. Somebody made something they don't want to say. Dave, enjoy the game. We always appreciate you joining us.
All right, take care, guys. Thanks for having me.
Take care. That's Dave Mason from Bet Online. Follow him on Twitter at Dave Mason, BOL. Well, speaking of Super Bowl 57, football fans, FanDuel is the perfect way for everyone to get in on the Super Bowl 57 action with a no-sweat same-game parlay. That means everyone gets bonus bets back if your Super Bowl SGP doesn't hit. Doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or already have an account. Same-game parlays let you combine all your favorite bets for a chance at a bigger payday. So start building your own, or just bet a popular SGP that's already made for you in America's #1 sportsbook. I like the Eagles -1.5, Miles Sanders anytime touchdown, and Jake Elliott to go over 1.5 field goals. If you're new to FanDuel, sign up with promo code GASMAN when you download the app. Either way, you'll get bonus bets back if your no-sweat same-game parlay doesn't hit. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 or over, present in Tennessee, 3 or more legs, minimum $1 bet required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. They expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Basketball was born on the court, but it doesn't have to remain there. This NBA season, Hennessy celebrates creatives like Victor Solomon, who take the game beyond the floor. Their work isn't just inspired by the sport, it helps us see it through a new lens. Hennessy, the spirit of the NBA. Never stop, never settle. Please drink responsibly. Imported cognac Hennessy, 40% alcohol by volume. 2023. Imported by Moet Hennessy USA Incorporated, New York, New York. Hennessy is a registered trademark.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches.
Hey.
Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful branches!
And dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Golfers, tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops and go farther and faster with the new G430 woods and irons from Ping. The Ping G430 woods introduce the next generation of speed with new face technology for longer and more accurate shots. The new Ping G430 irons are designed with pure flex technology for faster ball speed and more distance. Swing into Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit on the new Ping G430 woods and irons today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Corky's Barbecue. Hi, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. We have been helping Memphians with their celebrations for more than 38 years. Whether you're picking up one of our party packs to serve yourself or booking one of our private dining rooms at our Cordova location or our Olive Branch location, Corky's has you covered. We make it easy for you to impress your guests for company parties, sports banquets, or reunions. Corky's has been trusted year after year for all of your party needs. Call today and reserve your private party room before your date is booked. Flavor, Corky's Barbecue.
We told you this was going to happen, and now it has. The floor model sale is happening at Family Leisure. Lowest prices of the year on pool tables, on those wonderful spas, on patio furniture, state-of-the-art, and of course the game tables. Floor model arcades are now starting at $1,200. It's your last chance for a 2022 pool. And floor model trampolines are only $2,100. That's the installed price. Family Leisure, I-40 and Wooden Road, where family and fun come together.
Add a little excitement to your sports watching experience by betting on all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Their app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique, fun bet types like same-game parlay, and exclusive, always-on promotions such as enhanced odds boosts on the biggest events to let you get more action out of every game day. And if you win, they even get you your winnings safely in as little as 24 hours. If you've never tried FanDuel Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started and be sure to sign up with promo code CASH so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code CASH. Must be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Tonight, NFL honors. The Hall of Fame class of 2023 will be announced. Always a big night with the National Football League, their honors event. Florida State has extended their deal with Mike Norvell, the former Tigers head coach. Will make him the highest paid head coach in the ACC. The contract will run through 2029, and it's going to pay Mike Norvell north of $8 million per season.
Good for Mike. Had a great year and a lot of expectations going into next year. And they are paying him for those expectations.
Yeah, look, he's obviously done enough where they feel that he is the right guy. Obviously, they committed to him, but when you had Deion Sanders out there hovering around, I guess there's the thought that maybe he could have been replaced, but I just think he's done a really good job. Struggled the first couple of years, got his own people in there. He's been recruiting just amazingly, but also the transfer portal. He has done really, really well in the portal, so good for Mike Norvell. Big Three basketball is coming to Memphis. That was announced yesterday, that league that Ice Cube started. It is a fun summer league. I watch a lot of that on Saturday afternoons. Not much going on. I'm sitting there watching the Big Three. I'm not sure of the date that they'll be in Memphis, but it's a 10-week league. and they go to a different city every week, and then they'll have their playoffs and championship. But the league actually begins on June 25th. So obviously sometime from that point on. They may have announced it. I didn't see it, but sometime this summer, Big 3 basketball is coming to Memphis. And, of course, the big news, if you are just getting ready for your day, you're just waking up, you're heading to work, Kevin Durant was dealt overnight by the Brooklyn Nets to the Phoenix Suns.
That's right. New owner making a big splash out in Phoenix. A lot of attention on Phoenix this week. Super Bowl and now Kevin Durant.
And the golf tournament.
That's right. Golf tournament's out there as well.
My gosh, yeah. The whole sports world focused in on the Phoenix area. All right, when we come back, hour number 3, we're talking more Super Bowl. Lorenzo Reyes will join us, reporter for USA Today Sports. And then later on in the hour, Al Smith, the former Houston Oilers All-Pro linebacker. And we'll try to be able to, well, hopefully squeeze in either in between or at the end of the show, more conversation about the Grizzlies on this NBA trade deadline day. 2 o'clock Central Time. Will the Grizzlies make a move? A lot of teams in the West have already done so. Others could still make moves as well. So we will certainly keep you updated with everything we know. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Save on the furniture and mattresses you want during the President's Day sale at the Great American Home Store. Everything's on sale from bedroom to dining room recliners, sectional sofas, and those comfy sleep sets. Top American-made brands including Southern Motion, Corinthian, England, Sealy, Tempur-Pedic, Restonic, and more. American-made sofas as low as $6.99. Kick back and relax in a new recliner, rocker recliners, gliders, and lift chairs. Shop our huge selection of casual to formal dining sets. And nobody offers a better selection of sofas, sectionals, reclining sofas. Saving store-wide off our already low prices. If you choose to pay cash, the more you buy, the more you save. Or take advantage of special financing up to 5 years with no minimum purchase and no money down. Come in today to one of Great American's huge showrooms in Memphis and South Haven. Or shop and buy online at gogahs.com. The President's Day sale now at the Great American Home Store.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Wendy's home-style French toast sticks are so delicious, some are saying that they're better than their mom's breakfast.
Excuse me, did you just say Wendy's French toast sticks are better than my breakfast?
Mom, is that you?
Answer the question.
I said some people are saying that because they're so crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside and perfect in every way.
Uh-huh. And what do you think?
I think it's time to tell people to choose wisely. Choose Wendy's sweet and crispy home-style French toast sticks.
That's still not an answer.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Folks are falling head over heels for these wheels and deals at DeSoto Auto Sales. It's the season of love. They're on a mission to help you meet your match. So if you've fallen out of love with your old ride, or other dealers have left you brokenhearted, get ready to fall head over heels for their wheels and deals. DeSoto Auto Sales has a solution for every situation. Low monthly payments? No problem. Low down payments? You could drive away for just a couple of bucks down. Trade-ins? DeSoto Auto Sales is paying way more than it's worth, and you could even lower your monthly payment in the process. Broken up over past credit mishaps? DeSoto Auto Sales credit approval process is the best matchmaker. DeSoto Auto Sales will hook you up with banks and lenders who want to approve you. It's time to fall in love, Mid-South, because you'll go head over heels for these wheels and deals when you drive off the lot in your new car for less. But hurry, this deal will fade away faster than first love. See all the wheels and deals at DeSotoAutosales.com. That's DeSotoAutosales.com.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
Right now, the only accident on the roadways downtown Memphis, Channel Avenue at Harbor Avenue. That's Channel Avenue at Harbor Avenue. Keep it right here. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Get them to sign on the line which is dotted.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Gonna put the world away for a minute.
Welcome back, everybody. Fun show on this Thursday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Lots going on in the world of sports, both locally and nationally. And, of course, we're building up to Super Bowl 57 on Sunday. The hits just keep on coming as we bring you the best guests that we can to talk Super Bowl 57, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Philadelphia Eagles this Sunday from Glendale, Arizona. And that continues right now as we open up Hour 3 with Lorenzo Reyes. He's a reporter for USA Today Sports. You can follow him on Twitter at Lorenzo G. Reyes. He joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Hey, Lorenzo, how are you?
I'm well. Good morning, guys. How are you?
Thank you for joining us. The biggest storyline, in your opinion, for this game is?
I think this might bore some people, but it's those big offensive linemen and the big defensive linemen. I think this is where this game's going to be played. We saw what Kansas City did against the Bengals rushing Joe Burrow, and they could do that really quite well. It affected the Bengals passing game. But this Eagles offensive line is a completely different unit. They have 2 All-Pros, Jason Kelce being in the middle, going up against Chris Jones. That's going to be a fascinating matchup. And then on the other side, that Eagles pass rush, I think if Hassan Reddick can build that pressure, Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham, if they can affect Patrick Mahomes' timing, I think they're also probably going to try to keep him in the pocket with that ankle. Mm-hmm. I think that's what's going to dictate this game.
And it seems like most of the people I've heard from or we've had on the show are picking the Eagles, and I think it's because of that. They believe the Eagles have the better of the matchup up front, really on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, agreed. And that's I picked them to win. I think it will be a little tight, but I do think that's the kind of edge that when things are late in games and you really need a big play to disrupt the quarterback and get that pass rush, I think the Eagles will be able to execute more in that regard. The other thing why I think the Eagles make a little bit more sense is because they're so good rushing the ball that we've seen what Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Andy Reid and the Chiefs offense can do. But honestly, the best defense against them is just not take the ball out of their hands. Mm-hmm. And if Philadelphia can control the clock with Jalen Hurts, I mean, the Eagles have 3 running backs. Like Kenneth Gainwell emerging as the third stringer. Now he's led the Eagles in both playoff games in rushing yards, and he's a third stringer. So I think the Eagles can attack Kansas City in a lot of ways on the ground. And if they can bleed that clock, I think that's where the Eagles might be, or the Chiefs might be playing catch up for a lot of the game. And it's going to be fascinating. I can't wait.
How much of a factor do you believe experience plays? Obviously, the Chiefs have been here a lot. Most of the guys on their team have played in Super Bowls. The Eagles have a few guys remaining from that Super Bowl championship team, but not many guys who have been here. How much do you think experience on this stage matters?
I think it's huge, honestly. The thing is, you guys know, this whole week, it's 2 weeks building up to this. And by the I know you talk to the players, and by the time they keep getting questions about their favorite food preferences and like Rihanna, like Patrick Mahomes, it makes for a great soundbite. But if you're a player, like you don't care, you don't want to hear that. You want to focus, you want to practice, you want to prepare. This is the biggest game of their lives. I will say, I think the Chiefs definitely have an advantage here. There's no question, and I think especially on the coaching staff. Because that Eagles coaching staff, while they do have some experienced guys, I think it's going to be incumbent on Philadelphia to lean on the Jason Kelce's, Lane Johnson's, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham's, those veterans who have been in a Super Bowl and who have won one, to kind of dictate the tone. And those are all that Eagles locker room is really solid. I do think that whatever lack of experience they have, I think they'll be able to manage it. But to your point, there's no stage like this. It is wild. There's nothing else like it in sports. It's insane. There were 6,000 media members credentialed for the Super Bowl week. It's wild.
Yeah, we've both Eli and I covered a number of Super Bowls, and it's a whole different world out there covering the Super Bowls compared to any other sporting event you could think of. Even I've never covered the World Cup. I would imagine that's probably something that's similar. But everything else that I've covered, from college basketball national championships to World Series, things of that nature, it pales in comparison to what's going on in Phoenix. Lorenzo Reyes is joining us, reporter for USA Today Sports. Okay. We know that injuries are a part of the game, always has been. But after what happened in the playoffs with San Francisco and their quarterbacks, it's certainly something concerning when you know that Patrick Mahomes comes in with an ankle and Jalen Hurts with a shoulder. They're not 100%. Right. And I worry, God forbid, if one goes down, what's the backup situation? So these are things that maybe I shouldn't be thinking about, but I do, because when you're about to play the game, if you're going to gamble on this game, unfortunately, with guys that aren't 100%, you got to think of what would happen if they went down.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think as fans, we definitely don't want to see that, but there's no question. And I think the good thing, I will say for the Chiefs, I think they're in a better position if something were to happen. When Chad Henne had to go in a couple weeks ago, he led that 98-yard drive, and it was, I think that's when everyone was thinking like, oh, maybe the Jaguars can come in and make some noise and close this gap here. But it was business as usual for them. And this defense, I think, is different, where the Eagles probably would give Chad Henne some more problems. But when Jalen Hurts went down, that Eagles offense was just completely different late in the season. They really struggled, and I think Kansas City would have an advantage there. I will say, I don't know if you guys have noticed this. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts, but I do think Jalen Hurts, coming off of the shoulder injury, I think he's played. I don't want to say he's been hesitant, but I don't think he's been as aggressive rushing the ball. And I think that's been by design. Some time has passed since then. I'm assuming his shoulder is probably closer to full health, but it definitely is something to watch, because on this stage, you just don't want your player being either limited or thinking about an injury. And the same thing goes for Patrick Mahomes. If his mobility is such a big part of his game, if he's hesitant at all, that could really affect either team negatively.
No,
so.
You're spot on, by the way. There's no question he was a little bit, again, you want to use the word hesitant or not, I think there was some tentativeness to his play. He didn't have to go all out, obviously, with the result of that game. But here's the good thing about Philadelphia. As you mentioned earlier, 3 really good running backs, and they will try to run the ball. They'll try to pound the ball against Kansas City. But yes, Hurts, there's no question in my mind that at least in that game, he was a little bit different than what we normally would see from him. Because usually he's, using this expression, balls to the wall, right? This guy will go out there and run through a wall for you.
Yeah, yeah. And especially when there were so many plays this season where you have those 2 stud wide receivers also. So you would have cornerbacks on the plays when they actually had coverage, and maybe there was even a spy. So often Jalen Hurts was that last resort, but when he's in open space, he's just so hard to bring down, and he's just elusive. So those kind of plays, they're just backbreaking for defenses, because you think you've really done everything well, except you have a guy who's a world beater, and he makes the difference. So if he can escape and go if he's full speed and he can really be aggressive, that's another reason why I like the Eagles.
Yeah,
here.
Tough to beat if that happens.
Talking with Lorenzo Reyes from USA Today. If Mahomes gets this win, has his second Super Bowl win, 3 Super Bowls overall that he's played in, it's still early in his career, but where does that, once you get that second one, where does that start putting him in that conversation among great quarterbacks?
Oh, and to be clear, I fully expect the night before that he will get his second league MVP. I think he's hands down the favorite here. So you add that, you add a second Super Bowl. Let's probably say another Super Bowl MVP, maybe.
Yeah, most likely. If they win, you would think that he's probably the guy that gets it.
Right. You have to. Goodness. And he's the ripe age of 27. Like, it's wild. But honestly, the way I look at it, and I've been watching football all my life. I grew up with Dan Marino, Boomer Esiason, Warren Moon, that era. But he is the most talented quarterback I have ever seen. I mean, I think you can put him with Aaron Rodgers and same with Tom Brady. Tom Brady's he's just a maniac in terms of his preparation and his competitiveness. Patrick has some of that, but Patrick almost doesn't need that because he's just so physically gifted. I mean, he's a guy that can, like, literally any play that the Chiefs run, he can make a throw that can put them in the end zone. Like, I mean, he's just an incredible weapon. So, yeah, I think in terms of the current quarterbacks, I think he's number one. In terms of the all-time greats, I mean, I think you put him in like top 3 already.
He is one of the great improvisers I've ever seen, and I think he's the absolute face of the league, and I love watching him play. But I am with you. I'm leaning toward Philadelphia in this game. Now, if it's not Hurts or Mahomes as the MVP of the game, because more than likely the quarterback on the winning team will end up getting the award, who would it be? Give me your other than the quarterback, your pick to maybe get the MVP from the Eagles if they win or the Chiefs if they win.
Yeah, I'm tempted to say Kelsey, but if Kelsey puts up a huge day, then that means Patrick Mahomes likely had a huge day too.
Yeah.
So I think that would take him out. This is a wild card. This is kind of like what James White did with the Patriots a couple years ago. But I think Isaiah Pacheco with the Chiefs is somebody who's really, he has so many explosive plays in him. My biggest beef with him is that it's not even his fault. The Chiefs don't give him enough touches, I don't think. Because he was there's some games where he's averaging 9 yards a clip.
Right.
And he's also really good at catching the ball out of the backfield. So if the Chiefs passing offense does struggle, the Chiefs are going to be without Mecole Hardman. The receivers are a little bit banged up. If Pacheco can have a big day, then he would be a candidate. Defensively, Chris Jones, but that's going to be a hard sell. I think offensive players obviously are the ones to really drive it. On the other side, I have a hard time again with the receiver argument, just because if let's say AJ Brown or Devontae Smith, either of them go off, then Jalen Hurts went off. So, I mean, I guess maybe like one of the running backs. I'm really intrigued about what Philadelphia will do with their running back situation, because, like I said earlier, Kenneth Gainwell, he's been kind of the lead back, and I think Nick Sirianni likes to ride the hot hand. And if he can pull off 100 and some yards and get a touchdown or two, then he might be in the consideration. But the problem with that 3-headed running back thing for MVP is that maybe Gainwell gets a lot of yards, but Miles Sanders gets the touchdowns. And then that kind of makes it more difficult for that MVP conversation.
Yeah, exactly. And we know if they get to the goal line, they're running the quarterback sneak for the touchdown. So
exactly.
And Boston Scott has come in at times on the show.
You talk about Pacheco, and it's weird because for a while there, up until last week, it had been Jerick McKinnon who they were actually throwing the ball to all the time. Then all of a sudden last week, it was all Pacheco. Like McKinnon really wasn't a part of the game plan. And it was like seeing Pacheco was out there all the time. So it's like you don't know for sure which one of those two guys they're going to use all of the time there. It's crazy. But the way Pacheco runs, like certainly, man, I would want the ball in that guy's hands because he runs like he is crazy out there. It's like full speed at every moment. That's for sure.
Maybe that's why they don't give him as many totes, because he runs so damn hard that the more he runs, maybe the chance there's a breakdown of some sort. I don't know, but you're absolutely right, Lorenzo. I watch that guy and I go, why does he not have more carries?
Yeah. It baffles me, honestly. And he's again, because he can catch the ball, he's just such a weapon. But I think it's one of those things that I guess the Chiefs kind of don't need him because Patrick Mahomes can heave it down the field with such precision. The other thing to watch here, though, is that Clyde Edwards-Helaire, they activated him off IR with that ankle sprain. He suffered it, I think, week 10 or 11, something like that. So he should be pretty good to go, but he's been out of football for a while. It'll be interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, he might be somebody that gets some more carries too. So it'll be another thing to watch.
All right. So again, your pick, is it Philly?
Yes, I'm going Philly. I have them winning by 2. I think the spread's like 1.5. Even if it went up to 2 or maybe 2.5, I would still probably take them. The one thing I am really confident in is the under. I think it's like 51 right now. But and I know we don't like to talk about refs, but I went back and I did some research on this. So Carl Cheffers, he's widely respected in the league offices, but he calls a tight game. He's in the last 2 seasons, he's led the league with led all officials with most flags thrown. And then I went back and I did some more research. He's officiated 12 games in his career as a referee. 11 of those have been under the over-under.
Wow, look at that research.
The only one that went over was that Wild Patriots Falcons 28-3
the
comeback game.
Yeah.
Wow. And combined in those 12 playoff games, teams are averaging 35.7 points per game. So if a lot of flags are flying and the game is being called a little bit tighter, I don't know that we're going to see the points that many people are expecting.
Yeah, I got it as an under, and I didn't even know that. So that just gives me more fuel for the fire of my underplay. I think that's the way I'm going to go. But I like the Eagles as well. Lorenzo, I think it's going to be a heck of a game. I really do. I know you think it'll be a heck of a game as well. We really appreciate you joining us. Lorenzo Reyes, you can read him at the USA Today. Follow him on Twitter at Lorenzo G. Reyes. Thank you so much for joining us, and enjoy the game.
Thanks, fellas. You too.
Take care.
Yeah, I asked Dave Mason about. I love Gainwell's overs in this game because I do think the first one. Okay, you could say the Giants. 2 games in a row where they've given the ball as much as they have, like that's a pattern. Like I think Gainwell gets the ball a bunch, and at 19 and a half, and then 11 and a half receiving. I think Gainwell goes over in both of those easily. I think both of those are winners by halftime.
I like that so much, and I usually wait to the day of an event. I don't like playing beforehand. I'm not a futures guy and all that. I think this afternoon when I have some free time, I'm going to make those plays because I'm with you 100%.
Zach, the thing you retweeted, is that from Hoops Hype?
Yes.
So from Hoops Hype, this is a report that several teams called the Nets to gauge the potential availability of Mikal Bridges. One of the most notable teams to call was the Memphis Grizzlies, who have been engaged in trade talks for another wing on the trade market, OG Anunoby. In separate trade talks for Bridges and Anunoby, the Grizzlies have tried to entice the Nets and Raptors with several first-round picks for each player. League sources tell Hoops Hype.
I don't know if just several. Is several mean 2? Because I don't think 2 is going to get Anunoby. I think they want 3 in Toronto.
Yeah, I think it's about 2 or more, maybe.
Several to me would be 3.
Sure. If several's
2 is a couple.
2 is a couple, but it's
several is 3.
It's a deuce, baby. Then if it's a couple, then if several is 3, then I think that's what's going to take. And plus what else you're throwing in there, because you're going to have several teams trying to get Anunoby.
Right.
And they don't necessarily have to trade him, but he's been dangled, and his name's been out there for weeks now. We had a text rather from on YouTube. I don't know the initials here of who that is, NK. Can someone wait climbing up? Jump in on the Phoenix-Brooklyn trade as the third team to land a few of those wings. Well, trade's done, but you can still make another trade. I mean, whether it be Bridges, whether it be Jay Crowder, of course, a former Grizzly. I mean, that's always a possibility. So at least if there's truth to what you just retweeted from the Hoops Hype, then Memphis is being very active. Then you would imagine that they're going to be active, especially
I would love
with everything
Bridges.
else.
I'd take Bridges.
Bridges would be great. I would like Anunoby would be great too, but Bridges, I would really like Bridges.
So if you got Bridges,
we need a third bridge anyway here. We've talked for years about building that third bridge. I'll take this bridge.
What would you name the bridge?
If this is our third bridge, that's perfect by me.
What would you name the bridge?
Mikal.
Just Mikal? That's it?
And it would be my favorite bridge.
It's Highway 25. We'll put it that way.
I don't think he'll be inspected. I don't think they'll
Highway
find.
25,
I don't think they'll find any cracks on inspection of him either. I think he'll be just fine. We don't need the third bridge if we get Mikal Bridges.
Okay, so if you just for hypothetical, you trade it and you got a Mikal Bridges. So you're running a lineup of Ja, Desmond, Bridges, Jackson, Adams, and bringing Brooks, unless he's in the trade, off the bench? Is that what you're doing?
Yep.
Okay.
No, I'm going to put John Conchar in there.
No, I was just thinking what you're going to do with DB. Because DB now will shoot it 30 times off the bench.
No, you're
They'll
trading
get no
him.
support from the bench.
I would assume there's a good chance he's part of the deal.
See,
but I don't know. Again, they may want to keep him and bring him off the bench. Where and say that's fine if you. Well, we don't mind you shooting a little bit more off the bench.
Yeah, I've always said in all these trade possibilities, these hypotheticals, that he's got to be involved in the deal. But every time I read somebody else locally and they talk about the Anunoby possibilities, they never include Dylan Brooks. I'm thinking, wait a minute. He is Dylan Brooks, but better. He's a better version of Brooks. Why wouldn't they trade Brooks?
I'm not sure what Bridges' contract is for sure, so I don't know how much money you'd have to have in that deal for him. But yeah, I would guess there's a decent chance that Brooks would be involved as his expiring contract. And Anunoby, he makes what I think it's $18 million, something like that.
It's your type of money.
But they have to. So you could get there pretty easily. Again, I don't know for sure exactly what Bridges' contract status is as far as how much you have to match.
By the way, what did you think of the Lakers trade? Getting D'Angelo Russell, Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley with LeBron, and let's say Anthony Davis, this is a big if, is healthy in the postseason. What does that do, assuming the Lakers get there, for the Lakers?
Oh, definitely make him better. I like Beasley. I said he's a guy that I would love the Grizzlies to be able to get. Getting rid of Westbrook for D'Angelo Russell is, to me, an upgrade. Vanderbilt is a good guy to have around. He defends. He doesn't need the ball. He can score a little bit, but he defends, rebounds, which is kind of all you need next to Anthony Davis. It certainly makes the Lakers better. I don't think it makes them good enough to win a title, but I think it certainly makes them better. And I think with that, they have a very good chance of making the postseason.
It's interesting. In the East, the big three, Boston, Philadelphia, and Milwaukee, right? Brooklyn's a hot mess, and obviously it didn't work out with Durant, Irving, and originally Harden, and now Ben Simmons. But none of them have made moves, correct? To this point?
Not yet, no.
They may be just standing pat with what they have because what they have is pretty darn good. You know what else is pretty good? That's Dinstall's. We were there on Tuesday for a remote, and it was fun. And it's great because I brought some candy home, and it's always delectable. Tuesday is Valentine's Day, so remember all those sweethearts in your life. Dinstall's is launching the chocolate-covered strawberry season tomorrow, February 10th. Fresh, ripe strawberries dipped in that special fondant and robed in Dinstall's rich milk chocolate. They are the best, and nobody dips them like Dinstall. So place your order for strawberries now, and don't forget your special sweets for the big game on Sunday. Dinstall's chocolates are made fresh in the Candy Kitchen on Pleasant View. And for Tuesday with Valentine's Day, you can choose from an array of heart-shaped boxes filled with Dinstall's finest assortments, from the turtlettes to the all-nut assortment to cherries, assorted creams, whatever you want. Valentine boxes ranging from 3 ounces to 7 pounds. There's a box to fit everyone's budget. Dinstall's will have a special pickup area for all pre-orders beginning tomorrow. That will run tomorrow through Valentine's Day. So don't wait till the last minute this year. Order your Valentine candies now. Call or stop by your favorite Dinstall's, Laurelwood, Germantown, Collierville, Pleasant View, or downtown. They're open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6. This Sunday only from 11 to 4, and then Monday and Tuesday from 10 to 6. It's Dinstall's fine candies and chocolates. They've been loving Memphis for well over 120 years.
And this time of our program is brought to you by Acura of Memphis, located on Ridgeway at 385. Online, AcuraofMemphis.com. Go check them out if you're looking for a new vehicle or maybe a pre-owned vehicle. They can take care of you with a great car buying experience each and every time at Acura of Memphis. From the new Acuras to pre-owned Acuras, certified pre-owned Acuras, other pre-owned vehicles as well. You're going to have a great time and get a great automobile when you go see the folks at Acura of Memphis. Again, on Ridgeway at 385 and online, AcuraofMemphis.com.
All right, Eli's heading out. He has an early hustle game. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
That's right. I get to go see 6,500 screaming school children.
At least you wear earphones. You'll be fine.
Fun. Love this game every year.
Enjoy. Have a good one. When we come back, the hits keep on coming. Former NFL linebacker and all-pro linebacker, in fact, with the Oilers, Al Smith will join us to continue the countdown to Super Bowl 57. And then in our final moments, we'll get back into everything that's happening with the NBA. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Right now is a great time to take advantage of Choate's winter specials by upgrading your furnace, switching to a Rinnai tankless water heater, or getting $50 off air duct cleaning. By now, you most likely have heard of the benefits of UV light technology for your HVAC system. Purchase any new Carrier furnace right now, and we will install one for you at no additional cost. For those who have not installed a tankless water heater yet, what are you waiting on? Stop wasting utilities heating water you do not use and getting frustrated taking cold showers or baths. Right now, when you purchase a Rinnai tankless water heater, Choates will install one premium toilet for free in your home. And Choates is offering $50 off its air duct cleaning services. Not only does this service get the years of dust out of your ducts, it also helps the indoor air quality you and your family breathe every day. All these specials qualify for 18 months no interest financing with approved credit. So call 347-8086 to schedule your free estimate today. Turn to the experts with Choates and let our family serve your family.
Shop, compare, and save from hundreds of experts to turn your dream home into a reality. We have everything to help you remodel, refresh, and beautify your home inside and out. So come on out to the Home Show of the Mid-South, February 10th through the 12th at the Agri Center. You'll find special show pricing on kitchens, baths, patios and landscaping, flooring, cabinets, windows, roofing. It's all at the Home Show of the Mid-South, February 10th through the 12th at the Agri Center. For more info, visit memphishomeshow.com. That's memphishomeshow.com.
Intelligence runs in the family. Innovation runs in the family. Extraordinary runs in the family. The 2023 Mercedes-Benz SUV family. Each of the impressive models feature world-class innovations ranging from MBUX voice-activated assistance technology to safety features like attention assist that can detect drowsiness and alert you when it's time to take a break. The SUVs include the sleek GLB with room to seat up to 7. The category-leading GLE. How about GLS, one of the smartest SUVs on the road? The capable and stylish GLC and the striking yet robust GLA. Each model pack cutting-edge technology every driver deserves. Best-in-class technology, too. Leaders in innovation and intelligence not yet seen from SUVs. A family of distinct models, all equally impressive. The 2023 Mercedes-Benz family of SUVs. Extraordinaries one test drive away. Learn more at MBUSA.com.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 9:30 the time. 30 more minutes here on Sports 56 Mornings. Currently 47 degrees in Memphis, in the metropolitan Memphis area. Get up to about 57 today. A little cloudy this afternoon, or this morning rather, and a lot more sunshine this afternoon, so it looks like a pretty nice day. We continue the countdown to Super Bowl 57 as we bring you the best guests that we can, wall-to-wall coverage, and right now it is time to talk to the former All-Pro linebacker of the Houston Oilers. Of course, the Oilers now the Tennessee Titans. You can follow him on Twitter at ASmith54Pro. He's Al Smith, who joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Al, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
Good. How you guys doing?
Man, we're doing fantastic. Of course, Al is a sports radio analyst, author, motivational speaker. He does it all, and he's part of this Gear Up Tennessee campaign that we'll talk about in just a second. Before we do so, though, Al, I want to get your thoughts on the Super Bowl, but also I want to go back to your final year in Houston. That was the year prior to the team relocating, which they came here to Memphis, as you know, for a year, and then on to Nashville. What was it like playing for that team in its final year in Houston with everybody knowing that they were moving, especially the fan base?
Well, it was really chaotic because you were kind of in limbo. You didn't know what to expect. A lot of that wasn't didn't happen to the last minute. Not just the players having to adjust, their families, kids in school, trying to switch situations. Do I move? Do I not move? Will I still be on the team? All those type of things you're going through, players, administrators, office people. It went through the whole organization. And anytime you have that, that can cause animosity, resentment, what have you. And I think that's why the transition wasn't easy, but at the same time, it had to happen. You had to adjust. You had to pivot, so to speak, and keep moving. And that's what the organization and that's what the team did.
Did you know that you were playing in your last year before all the news had come out about the move, or did that have anything to do with your decision making?
Could you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Sure. In that final year, had you already made it known and decided that you were retiring, or did the proposed move to Nashville affect your decision making?
Well, the proposed move, because for me personally, at that time when they made the move, I was, at the end of my career, and I was very, fortunate when I decided to stop playing. I was offered a position in the front office, so I went straight from playing into the front office. I actually came to Tennessee right after the Memphis season, so I was kind of hired toward the end of that Memphis season, and I started in January right after that season had ended. So me personally, I missed the Memphis back and forth, back and forth when I had to bust down to Memphis and go back and what have you. So you really didn't have a home. You didn't really have a stadium yet. And Memphis was temporary, but I'm sure other people in Memphis felt like we're renting the team, so to speak, and it was a tough situation. But at the same time, I was kind of moving in toward the front office during that time span.
Yeah, it was tough all over for everybody, for the team, for the players, for Memphians who did not like the fact that they were just taking a little quick stop in Memphis and then moving on to Nashville. But obviously, since their arrival in Nashville, they have been a very successful football organization. And, it seems like even though it was very chaotic at first, the move, it has been very beneficial to a lot of people, and they have made a home for themselves in Nashville.
Yeah, a lot of people have, Nashville has grown, and as you know, and the team kind of grew with the city, and obviously the stadium went up. And when the stadium first went up, the team had a nice winning streak. It had a home field advantage. But before the stadium, remember, we had to stop in Vanderbilt.
Right,
right. Had the moment of playing in Vanderbilt Stadium. Still, while the stadium was, at that time, Adelphia Stadium was being built. And once the stadium, finally was here, the moment had arrived. You got a new stadium, new fan base. You have a home. The team was able to, put together some wins, and obviously had a lot of talent on the team. Was able to, get to the Super Bowl, fairly quickly after that.
Well, you and a lot of other former Oilers/Titans have been involved in this Gear Up Tennessee campaign, launched in partnership with the Tennessee Department of Health. Could you explain to everybody out there listening, Al, what this is all about?
Well, it's basically an awareness campaign, an education and awareness campaign, to let individuals know what's out there for them. It's really geared toward underserved communities, being able to have access. It's not telling people what to do or anything like that. It's basically, having a resource, having information, having the ability to be vaccinated if you like to be vaccinated, or flu shots if you want flu shots. But mainly targeting areas that are underserved, whether it be rural areas or city areas or whatever the case may be. We focused on hitting the Memphis area later in the spring. Obviously, Memphis has had a lot of unfortunate things happen recently in the news, so kind of waiting for that to kind of manifest itself, and hopefully all that takes care of its place with the legal system, and after that, make an appearance down there, down that way, and we definitely will keep you guys in mind as far as that when that comes. So get the word out that we'll be down that way. But it's throughout the state of Tennessee. We have a lot of great ambassadors, guys that have played with the team, whether it be an Oilers / Tennessee Titans. Warren Moon is one of our ambassadors. Neil O'Donnell, former quarterback. Javon Curse is one of Delaney Walker. We have Blaine Bishop, Brad Hopkins. We have a lot of guys that have had affiliation with Tennessee and have played in Tennessee, because a lot of times guys want to be able to serve the community that has served them. This is the same community that cheered them on through the highs and the lows. This is a way to get back to the community, be able to serve them and give them the opportunity to be served. It's nothing that anyone has to do. It's just like anything. We call it gear up for protection. We go out on the field. With pads and helmet and shoulder pads, but we don't expect to get hurt. But if we do get hurt, it won't be that bad. It won't be as bad. So that's what gear up is all about. It's trying to protect yourself, about protecting yourself, not only yourself, protect your family, and more importantly, protect others. Because a lot of times we don't think about the other people that we give things to, and that can affect them and their families. So it's kind of like a team effort to get everybody protected. It's still out there, unfortunately. It's not talked about as much, but the numbers from the health department and what have you shows that it's still affecting families and it's still affecting people, and just want to be able to have a resource for Tennesseans to be able to rely on.
And again, if you're looking to take advantage of this information from the Gear Up ambassadors, you can go to their website. It is nflagearup.org/Tennessee. nflagearup.org/Tennessee. Al, this Sunday, Chiefs-Eagles, what do you think?
Well, I think it'll be a great game. I mean, anytime you have a Super Bowl, at least for me, I just want a good game, a competitive game. And I think both these teams match up. They're the best teams in their conferences. I think we have two young quarterbacks. Obviously, you have a historical component to that, being both African American quarterbacks going head to head. But not only that, two quarterbacks that one in his prime. One is kind of getting going. They're both good leaders. They're both solid individuals. Which is huge for the quarterback position, and you have to like that. But I do like the Eagles. I feel like defensively, I think they have across the board have a lot to work with. And Kansas City has some injuries up front, and in the secondary they have some injuries, and they have some young guys in the secondary that I think can be exploited, especially if Jalen's shoulder and throwing the ball downfield is not an issue, which he should be fine by now. Those extra 2 weeks probably helped him a lot. And but I like the Eagles because of their defense, and but I think it's going to be a great game, and it's going to be a close game.
It's interesting.
It'll come down to a few plays.
Yeah, I think, and it's a 1.5 point line, so the odds makers think it'll be tight as well. You bring up one of the great storylines in this game, and hopefully before too long we won't have to worry about what color the skin is. We just worry about the player themselves. But I think it is a great moment with the two African American quarterbacks. But it is great to have you on the show and to have somebody affiliated with the Oilers/Titans, because you talk about two of the great African American quarterbacks that have ever played in the league, Warren Moon, Steve McNair.
Exactly, and with this organization, with the Tennessee Titans,
right.
If you look at the history, and you can put Vince Young in there. Vince Young,
sure, right? Yeah. Forgot about him
as well. Playing with the organization as well. Had a storied, college career. Had an up and down pro career, but I think early on, just me personally, trying to change his style kind of affected him. Different coaches was trying to change him early on, and they never really. He was never able to really gravitate to the different coaching. But to your point, the the organization has some great quarterbacks, and I think they're going to have to find another one here soon to carry them through the next through the next segment here. And you can even see with Dobbs. I mean, Dobbs kind of filled in admirably. Basically, coming in with a couple of weeks of practice. I think he did well under the circumstances.
Yeah, well, I think Rand's going to find someone certainly that'll fit the mold there in Nashville and for the Tennessee Titans. Again, the website is nflagearup.org/Tennessee. He's the former All-Pro linebacker, Al Smith. Al, thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck with the campaign. We really appreciate your time, and enjoy the game on Sunday.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Look forward to hopefully seeing you guys down the road.
Thank you. Al Smith, again, part of the Oilers' final year in Houston, which was, I can only imagine, rough. Had to be rough. The Oilers fans had quit on them because they were moving. They didn't want anything to do with them anymore. They were scheduled to play on a bunch of national games, and it ended up that they got the plug pulled because it would look bad as far as all those empty seats. And then they go to Memphis, on to Nashville, and the rest is history. But Al played in that final year and then eventually moved on into the front office as a member of the Tennessee Titans. Folks, again, Tuesday, Valentine's Day. Don't forget your loved ones. I know you won't. But jewelry always makes a great gift. And at Platinum Jewelers, they have a wide variety of beautiful rings, watches, bracelets, earrings, necklaces, so much more. All kinds, all types. Variety is the spice of life, and that's what they have for you at Platinum Jewelers. They specialize in bridal engagement rings. They can customize what you're looking for. They're known by many as the jewelry store where many of the Grizzlies and Tigers go. At Platinum, they'll pay top dollar for your gold, your diamonds, your Rolex watches. They can appraise your jewelry. Wholesale pricing available. Located at 9387 Poplar Avenue in Germantown. It's right next to Fresh Market. You can call them at 901-907-0626. Ask for Preston. They're on the web at PlatinumJewelers.com, on Facebook at Platinum Jewelers, and on Instagram at Platinum Jewelers 901. Platinum Jewelers is a proud supporter of the Memphis Tigers. When we come back, our final segment, if you didn't get a chance to call in or text in on the Grizzlies trade deadline today at 2 o'clock Central or on the Tigers, this is your opportunity. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Golfers, tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops and go farther and faster with the new G430 woods and irons from Ping. The Ping G430 woods introduce the next generation of speed with new face technology for longer and more accurate shots. The new Ping G430 irons are designed with pure flex technology for faster ball speed and more distance. Swing into Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit on the new Ping G430 woods and irons today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
A good friend of mine told me about this awesome place for lunch.
Oh, yeah? What's the name?
Neil's Grill and Bar, where the fat man rocks. Everybody knows Neil.
Where's it located?
It's located in Yorkshire Square off of Quince.
And what's it like?
The best lunch place in Memphis. You know, like real mashed potatoes and gravy. Everything is made from scratch. Monday through Friday, daily lunch specials like Monday baked chicken, Italian Tuesday, spaghetti, ravioli, Italian spinach, delicious fried catfish, fried chicken livers every Wednesday, Friday, Salisbury steak, barbecue chicken, or if you just want a vegetable plate, the best veggies in town.
What about the lunch price?
Meat and 2 veggies, $8.95. Meat and 3 veggies, $10.95. And veggie plate, $9.95. Big fat boy portions, man.
Man, you're making me hungry.
Come hear the best live local music at Neil's. Eddie Smith plays Sundays 5 to 9, Mondays karaoke, Tuesdays Debbie Jameson, Wednesdays Elmo and the Shades, Thursdays John Williams and the A440 Band at Neil's.
Where the fat man rocks.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Hiring can be a headache. That's why there's Indeed, the hiring platform that removes the hassle. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates. And you can schedule and conduct video interviews right on their site. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Catch your Grizzlies tomorrow at 7 p.m. when they take on the Minnesota Timberwolves for their annual HBCU night, celebrating Black History Month, presented by Pinnacle. The first 5,000 fans receive a Grizzly scarf. Get your tickets today by calling 901-888-HOOP or visit Grizzlies.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Power is everything.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I was watching video of this crazy finish to a junior, I think it's a junior college game in New Jersey, my home state of New Jersey. It's New Jersey College University in Rowan. No, it's Rowan College is Division III. I want to say Division III. And so Rowan is up 71-67. They're up 4 points with 5 seconds to go. I'm looking at the video here as I speak to you. Crowd, not a big crowd, but going crazy. 5.2 seconds ago. 71-67, 5.2 seconds ago. They inbound it. Guy turns around, hits a three-pointer. 2.8 seconds to go. It's 71-70 now. The inbounds pass, the guy's pass is tipped to some dude at like half court. He turns around and just chucks it up. It banks in, and they win it. They score 6 points in 5 seconds, and they win the game 73, I guess it would be, to 71. 73-71. Holy moly. Man, that's a pretty cool video if you haven't seen it. By the way, the guy I think who hit the first three, his last name? Savoy. Of all people. Savoy, spelled differently, but it was Savoy. All right. Zach, you are a different Zach. You are Zach Kleiman. You are 4 hours away from the trade deadline. You just watched Dallas pick up a guy named Kyrie Irving. You just watched Phoenix pick up a guy named Kevin Durant. You saw what the Lakers did to add some players as well. Even Portland made a little bit of a move. What are you doing? What are you doing, Mr. Kleiman?
I'm making a move for Mikal Bridges.
So you want to take Bridges off the hands of the Brooklyn Nets, who just acquired him in the big trade with Kevin Durant, which happened overnight, folks.
Yeah.
In case you're wondering, what is Greg talking about? Yeah. Kevin Durant got traded.
I think Mikal checks off a lot of your boxes. It replaces the defense that Dylan brings. I think initially when we was having this conversation about whether we'll give up 3 first-round picks for OG, for most of us, it was like on the fence, and it was like a complete no. It's like, no, we're not doing that. But with Mikal, I think it's a different, I guess, feel for it, because he can actually do a little bit more than what OG can do offensively.
What does he shoot from the three? Because Anunoby shoots really well from the three. I forget those numbers that I brought up last week. He was something like 39%, 40% for uncontested threes. I think it was 37% when they were contested. Bridges doesn't knock my socks off. You're not the only one that has said that they really like Mikal Bridges. He obviously had to pick up the slack during the days that Devin Booker was out with Phoenix, and he did, but the team wasn't winning.
Right
I know
now,
he's a good defensive player.
For the season, he is shooting 39% from
He
three.
shoots 39% from three?
Yes.
And how tall is Bridges?
He is 6'6"? 6'7".
Well, you're talking me into that. 39% from three, and he's a good defensive player.
Yeah, with like a 7-foot wingspan in addition to that.
So what would you offer up?
So the price tag right now is 3 first-round picks.
And what else?
And I would throw in Dylan and Danny Green and see if they bite on that.
Dylan, Danny, 3 first-round picks.
That's the Warriors' first-round pick, and then 2 of yours.
Okay, so you get the expiring deal of Danny Green, Brooks, and again, a lot will depend on what the organization feels about the future with Dylan Brooks.
Yeah,
are they going to sign him long-term? Is that what the plan is? How much money will that be? How much are they willing to go?
Because the thing is like at the beginning of the year, we was talking about this about Brandon Clark, because Brandon Clark didn't get his deal right until the season began, like right around the preseason time. And so not to say that the Grizzlies don't operate in that realm. Again, Dylan had his contract extended like a couple of years ago after the trade deadline when they got, I guess, Justice Winslow, I can't remember, or right before the bubble. So, you know, they could very well just say, okay, we're just gonna keep Dylan and extend him like they did before.
Sure, they could decide that. But for the same package, you would rather have Mikal Bridges over OG Anunoby?
Yes.
And why? You just think he's a better player overall?
I think Mikal is a better offensive player. I think he could do a little bit more, and he can handle the ball, be a secondary ball handler next to Ja better. I think he's just an overall better fit, not only shooting the 3 and being a great defender. So,
out of 100%, the chance that the Grizzlies actually swing a deal, you would put it what, Mr. Oddsmaker?
75.
So you think it's going to happen? I mean, it likely happen.
Because there's no way. And I said this before this week. There is no way you're letting the Dallas Mavericks, you're letting the Suns get Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, and you're just not doing anything.
I'm looking on Twitter right now. Guy I respect very much, Chris Harrington, said if Bridges were available, I'd rank him above Anunoby for the Grizzlies. So the same thought process that you have. Again, 2 o'clock is the trade deadline. A lot of teams, obviously, right now are in conversations to make moves. Other teams have made moves, like the Phoenix Suns and the Dallas Mavericks. But we'll keep you updated with everything that's going on throughout the day here on Sports 56. And again, tonight, big night for the National Football League. It's their annual NFL Honors event, and the Hall of Fame class of 2023 will be announced tonight. So obviously it's a big evening, and then we get that much closer to Super Bowl 57 on Sunday. Tomorrow on the program, our regulars, John Varlas will join us at 7:25. Matt Dillon and the Tiger Basketball Report at 8:25. And then Brandon Lang will get his thoughts on the Super Bowl. I got a feeling that he's going to end up taking the Eagles. In fact, most guests that we've had this week have taken the Philadelphia Eagles or are taking the Philadelphia Eagles. But they all say a very, very close game. We also have 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. And we will continue to have some great guests from Radio Row or from wherever on Super Bowl 57. Just not sure exactly who at this time, but we'll be joined by somebody tomorrow on the program to continue that conversation. Again, if you missed it from earlier last night or late afternoon when it was announced, Mike Norvell has a new deal with Florida State. It'll make him the highest paid head coach in the ACC. Deal will keep him through 2029, at least on paper, in Tallahassee. North of $8 million per season. $8 million per season. Our thanks to John Eisenberg, Dave Mason, Lorenzo Reyes, and Al Smith for joining us on the show today. If you miss any of our interviews, head to the website. Check it out at sportsmemphis.com. You can listen to any of the shows via the podcast, and we break them down hourly, make it a little bit easier for you to listen to. I want to thank you for your calls, your texts, your tweets today. We always appreciate that. Waldo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. Waldo fresh from Tampa, where the Tigers knocked off USF last night 99-81. For Eli Savoy and Zach Boyd, I'm Greg Gaston. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, everyone.